Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It is 5:10. I'm Manda Factor. A big week of NBA talks is underway as Governor Bob Ferguson sits down with Commissioner Adam Silver to talk about bringing a franchise back to Seattle.
Going forward, what we hope, and there could be a big moment forthcoming, and we're going to be ready.
Officials say the meeting covered logistics and timelines ahead of the upcoming league vote. Meanwhile, at the same time, new ownership moves at Climate Pledge Arena could strengthen the city's bid. The Seattle Kraken's owners are now holding a major stake in Climate Pledge Arena. The group just launched a new parent company, One Roof Sports and Entertainment. In a statement, the company says it's meant to fuel new opportunities for the Kraken and for the venue. The city of Seattle is paying $750,000 to settle a discrimination lawsuit filed by a veteran police detective. Detective Denise Cookie Boldine sued the city in 2023, claiming years of race and gender discrimination. Boldine is black and has spent 45 years with the Seattle Police Department. She's known for her work keeping young people out of trouble and building relationships in communities of color. Boldine originally asked for $10 million. Under the deal, she has to pay her own attorney's fees and split the cost of mediation with the city. New data shows Pierce County Sheriff's deputies use force against people of color more than they use it against white people.
The News Tribune reports in 2024, deputies used force against black people and Native Americans more than 3 times as much as against white people. That's according to a use of force report presented to the County Council's Public Safety Committee. That data is from before current Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank took office.
We're evaluating things all the time and trying to do the best training we can to keep the communities and suspects safe.
Swank tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM that when deputies or officers use force, it's based on the situation, not a person's race. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The man arrested last week for causing nearly $250,000 in damage at Seattle's Chihuly Garden and Glass is expected in court this morning. The update from KIRO 7's Dee Sun.
The suspect, who has no prior criminal history, will enter a plea. According to court documents, last week security guards found him smashing sculptures and throwing shards of glass at them. In total, 12 sculptures were damaged, with the estimated cost being more than $200,000.
He faces several felony charges. The boy police say shot and killed 2 teens at a Rainier Beach bus stop in January was in court yesterday. An arraignment was expected, but prosecutors had other plans.
Before the arraignment could get underway, King County juvenile prosecutors alerted the court their desire to move the case to adult court. The boy was 15 at the time of the alleged shooting, but has since turned 16. Casey McNurthy with the King County Prosecutor's Office says a judge will make the final decision.
It's up to a judge to weigh both sides and look at the legal factors that are at play and then decide where the case will go.
A decision could take months, if not longer. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
If you've ever thought squirrels were cute and harmless, Browns Point would like a word. The News Tribune reports multiple people were attacked by aggressive squirrels in that Pierce County neighborhood last week. One person posted on Reddit that a squirrel jumped onto their head, bit their hand, and wouldn't let go. Their solution? Kicking it in the face repeatedly. The State Department of Fish and Wildlife responded Friday, in their words, lethally removed 5 squirrels. That's right, a tactical squirrel operation. Officials say the animals had lost their fear of humans, probably because people had been feeding them. It's 5:13, time for a check on the roads. It's wet again this morning, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, it is. Raining pretty good. That, and you add that to the left lane campers and people who don't use their signals.
Your best friends?
Yeah, and it turns into a really fun day. Right now, we're not doing badly. I mean, we've got travel times right where they should be. Not a lot of action yet. But again, when we get weather like this, it usually adds about 10 minutes to our commute a little bit later on. Right now, about 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton to Bellevue's under 20. The Olympia to Tacoma Drive, freeway speed, and then the same thing all the way up into Seattle. So no problems on I-5 as of yet. Southbound I-5, no problems past Northgate, and nothing yet through Canyon Park. 35 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and the lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We are still looking for as much as a ½ inch of rain today, so it's going to be wet all day. A little bit breezy, too, and a high of 54. Scattered showers for tomorrow and 49, and then improving weather Thursday, opening day at T-Mobile Park for the Mariners. Maybe a few sprinkles in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny by afternoon and 53. Friday looks like sunshine, too, and so far the weekend looks dry. We'll cloud up on Sunday, but other than that, we'll see sunshine here and there. Right now in Seattle, it is raining. It's 44 degrees. And coming up, our weekly crime and punishment segment with Casey McNurthy from the King County Prosecutor's Office. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News. KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit MakeTheConnection.net.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with a view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Mark your calendars, Mariners fans. This season is jam-packed with epic events. Be here for Thursday's opening day festivities. Ichiro Replica Statue Night, April 10th, presented by BDA. And Randy Johnson Number Retirement Night, May 2nd, presented by T-Mobile. Check out the full schedule and get tickets at mariners.com.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You can say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You can ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
We check in with Casey McNerney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for our Crime and Punishment segment. Casey, thank you for being here today. And we wanted to start with this case that we had a resolution for on Friday. And this was the guy who went up and randomly shot a pregnant woman at 4th and Lenora back in June of 2023. She died. And this was a case that we've been paying so much attention to. It sounds like there was a not guilty by reason of insanity. Walk us through this.
Yes, that's right. And not guilty by reason of insanity is a very rare thing to happen. You hear about it sometimes in the news, but it's fewer than 1% of cases where it actually happens. But you're right, this was the case at 4th and Lenora, a really, really tragic, awful case that I think a lot of people think of every time they go by that intersection. And it just was so shocking and so tragic. Gabby Charlton is one of the senior deputy prosecutors who worked on this case. I asked her, how did we get here? And here's her explanation.
Defense first obtained their own expert report, and their expert found the defendant was insane at the time of this crime. The state then obtained our own expert who also evaluated the defendant, and they came to that same conclusion that he was insane at the time of the crime. Had there been a dispute as to that, then we would have had a basis to challenge that finding. But without it, this is how we're at an agreement to enter this not guilty by reason of insanity plea today.
So not guilty by reason of insanity. I noted her phrasing there, insane at the time of the crime. Is this the sort of thing where he could be sane any other time, but it just so happened at the time he killed this woman and her unborn baby, he was technically insane?
Yeah, so competency is if you can understand the proceedings against you at the current moment, but if you're insane at the time, that doesn't change. And so it's the specific point in time that it looks at. And you have to be competent in order to enter that plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. I also asked Gabby this, and it's confusing, understandably, unless you do these cases all the time, the competency cases. But here she is explaining it in a short bit that hopefully will be helpful to folks.
Competency refers to someone's current mental state with regard to their ability to proceed in a criminal case. Are they able to understand the charges against them, and are they able to assist in their own defense? So competency is now, and it's fluid. It can change over time. Versus mental state at the time of the crime means what their mental state was at that moment the crime was committed. So NGRI is past, competency is present, and in fact, you cannot proceed by way of not guilty by reason of insanity unless you are in fact competent to proceed, because you are giving up your rights. You're giving up a right to trial. In this case, Mr. Gooseby previously did have competency issues and went through competency restoration. And today, for purposes of entering this not guilty by reason of insanity plea, he is deemed to be competent to proceed.
So here's the frustrating thing. Okay, so he was deemed to be competent, but insane at the time of the crime. What I'm hearing about this guy is he was constantly grokked out of his mind on hardcore drugs. And that played a large factor in his being insane at the time. It's incredibly frustrating to think that this sort of random thing can happen. This is a guy who's on the street, who is clearly not in his right mind. And basically everything that should be a guardrail in terms of preventing this, in terms of keeping us safe, in terms of keeping that woman and her unborn baby safe, everything seems to have fallen off the rails here. And I guess what I want to know is, can this guy get out? I mean, what happens to him from here?
Well, first off, your frustration and anger with it is understandable because this shouldn't happen. You've got to be safe on 4th and Lenora or anywhere. And this is really devastating for the community. We're not ignoring that. We've had people who have entered a not guilty by reason of insanity plea in the 1970s for longer than you and I have been alive, and they're still at Western State. That's possible for this defendant. It will be up to DSHS. We don't anticipate that, a few weeks or a few months from now that he'll be released back to the streets. If there is a plan to release him, that there would be a court notification and prosecutors would be notified too, and prosecutors could object. And that would be anticipated.
Yeah, sure as hell hope they would. This is a guy, he is in our drug scene on the streets, grokked out of his mind. And my concern is that, a year, 2 years from now, maybe some folks in DSHS go, well, let's give this guy a chance. And I don't think that really serves society well at all, especially if you can go back and reoffend. So, I'm going to hold you guys to that.
Yeah, of course.
You got to object with something like this.
Yeah. I also don't think that it's in DSHS's best interest to release somebody before it's appropriate. That's why they have people from the 70s, who have committed murders who are still there. Yeah. There's no way to make this feel good. That's the reality of it. This is such a tragic, terrible case that affected so many communities. I mean, understandably, people are frustrated by this. There's no easy way to say it. It's just an awful, tragic case.
It is, and it's When you hear something like this, it's really hard to view it as justice. I know that's the way the legal system works, and apparently all are on board with this guy being insane, but it sure doesn't feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. You know, if the prosecutor's expert had come back and had a different finding, then you can argue that, you can take it to court, you know, but when there's that independent evaluation and the prosecutor's own expert says, yeah, he was insane at the time, then there's no realistic way to win that case.
Okay. Casey McNerney with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Thanks for your time this morning, Casey.
You bet. It's great to see you, Charlie.
Lots of rain for today, up to a half-inch of possibility, 54 our high. Overnight low 41. Tomorrow will taper off to showers, and then by Thursday, some sunshine in the afternoon, just a few sprinkles in the morning, but perfect for baseball at T-Mobile Park. 53 on Thursday. Right now it's raining and 44 in Seattle, and coming up, the back and forth continues between President Trump and Joe Kent, and prices at the pump continue to surge. Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy on weather will hit a record. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, you know, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Yikey wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It is 5:30. I'm Manda Factor. Israel says it will continue to strike in both Iran and Lebanon, even during possible negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Reporter Linda Gradstein has more from Jerusalem.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he spoke with President Trump in a phone call on Monday, and they discussed the potential deal with Iran. He said that President Trump believes there is a chance to leverage what he called the massive achievements of the Israeli army and the U.S. military to achieve the goals of the war through an agreement which he said would protect Israel's vital interests.
President Donald Trump is escalating his criticism of former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent.
Look, I'm not a fan of the guy.
Kent, who lost 2 congressional races here in Washington, recently resigned, saying Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation.
What he said is 100% he agrees with me. All of a sudden he leaves. I never knew he had a problem.
About an hour after Trump made those comments, Kent praised him as a strong leader who was working to get peace with Iran. New video is shedding light on the deadly Rainier Beach double shooting. And police say it shows a 16-year-old suspect walking through a neighborhood moments after the gunfire. KIRO 7 spoke with a nearby resident where the video was recorded.
Well, my instant reaction was somebody's on the loose in my neighborhood, and you guys better catch them. After that happened, I made a WhatsApp group, like a neighborhood watch group, so we can keep things safe.
Meanwhile, King County juvenile prosecutors want to move this case to adult court. The 16-year-old appeared in court for the first time yesterday for an arraignment. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says the arraignment is on hold until a decision on jurisdiction is made.
It's a pretty long process. Usually it takes several months, sometimes even a year, like we've seen in the Fall City case, for that decision to be finalized.
A judge will have the final say on where the teen is tried. An open door at a home under construction in the Bremerton area led authorities to a safe full of drugs over the weekend.
The deputy checking it out found a man slumped over behind the wheel of a car parked in the middle of the road. Authorities say that man had 26 grams of fentanyl. Deputies later found a second man who they say had another 1.7 pounds of fentanyl in a safe. They also seized what appeared to be steroids along with a stolen handgun, ammo, and magazines. And on top of that, they found what they describe as sensitive material that had been stolen from a law enforcement support agency. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A man clocked his 98th arrest after a high-speed chase through 2 counties on Sunday.
Hey, show me your hands. Show me your hands. Turn around. Turn around.
Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders says he was being pursued for stealing thousands of dollars in merchandise from several businesses and was caught with drugs, too. He says that suspect was booked for eluding, DUI, and possession. After his release, he'll likely be booked into the Lewis County Jail on investigation of retail theft. It's 5:33 and time for a check on the roads. Check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And it is wet, and we have some delays here and there, especially on the Valley Freeway. 167 always gets an early start, and so we see the brake lights now out of Auburn and at the north end. So you're going to need about 40 minutes to go from Puyallup up into Renton. There's also a little slowing westbound on 410 as you make your way over to 167. Once you get up to 405, you got a little sitting there through the ramp meters, and then Renton to Bellevue is only 17 minutes. So that's a pretty decent start there. Olympia to Seattle, really don't hit the brakes at all on that entire corridor, though we are starting to see just a little bit of hesitation right around the Kent Des Moines Road merge. Coming down from the north end, a little westbound slowing across the trestle, a little bit right by the Mill Creek interchange on southbound 5. But overall, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, yes, it is really coming down in spots this morning. We're going to see a lot of rain, up to a half inch, 54 our high, a little bit breezy too. And then things will calm down tomorrow. Just scattered showers. We might even see some sun breaks by afternoon and 49. Thursday, opening day of baseball. Some sprinkles early on, but then back to sunny skies and 53. Right now in Seattle, it's raining and 44.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News. Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's morning news.
Well, yes, gas prices in Washington and across the country continue to surge. The statewide average is well above $5 in many areas.
Yeah, this big increase is driven by what's happening with Iran. We also have seasonal demand. Can't ignore the Climate Commitment Act, and taxes in Washington state makes Washington home to some of the highest gas prices in the country.
Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy, head of petroleum analysis, is with us once again here on Seattle's Morning News. Thanks so much for your time. We asked you last week if we were going to hit records. What are you thinking this week?
Well, we're seeing prices now. Gasoline just 25 cents a gallon away from all-time record highs in Seattle. $5.43 the current average. Diesel prices just 10 cents a gallon from reaching all-time record levels this morning, well over $6. Obviously, some developments this morning on whether or not there are some high-level talks happening with Iran. Oil prices now plummeting about 8% at last check, based on the potential for some sort of improvement here. Keep in mind that the market is going to look whether or not these talks are happening. This could change the risk calculation, and that's why markets are reacting, because talks and diplomacy certainly could go a long way to eventually restoring the Strait of Hormuz.
How important are those diesel prices when we're thinking about, the economy that isn't just what I'm sticking gas in my gas tank, but when it's more expensive to transport stuff on trucks?
I mean, it's a huge part of the economy. Trucks, trains, tractors. I mean, the economy is powered by diesel. So to see up and down the West Coast diesel prices over $6 a gallon in Washington, approaching $7 in some areas of California, actually the Bay Area, there's about 6 different cities in California now beyond the $6 a gallon mark. It's hugely critical and very impactful to what you pay for in the grocery store. Almost every aisle is going to be impacted, especially things like fruits, produce, meats, vegetables. All of these things move to the market with diesel. So it's very impactful.
Patrick, can you talk more about the impact on farming and agriculture? We heard from a farmer last week who is, multi-generational farm here locally, and he's saying this might be the end.
Well, I mean, to your point, I mean, farmers are heavily impacted from the price of diesel to DEF for truckers, which is diesel exhaust fluid, to fertilizers. I mean, everything is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz right now. Farmers, are seeing not only diesel prices skyrocket, but what they put on their fields, fertilizer, seeds can be at risk as well. I mean, we're talking about a massive spiral here, and it's hard to underestimate. I mean, you and I just go and buy it. But to a farmer, they're seeing their costs go up dramatically, and they could lose the farm based on the price of corn. If it doesn't go up enough to outweigh the rise in diesel and fertilizers being used to produce it, it's going to be extremely problematic. And that's going to be the next domino that may fall, is that farmers are basically forced to sell their fields at a loss because the price of fertilizer and diesel are not necessarily factored into what the price of corn, the value of it.
Patrick, one of our colleagues, G. Scott, had a post on X go viral over the weekend. It has over 1.2 million views. And he's at a gas station in Des Moines, Washington. And a gallon of regular is $6.20 a gallon. Premium is $6.80. My question is, we know for the most part that gas stations aren't trying to gouge people, but when you hear about these outliers, are some gas stations, are they gouging people just because they can?
Well, I mean, looking at the averages, $6.47. You said a station was at $6.20 a gallon. That's a station that's the price of diesel is $6.47.
Yeah.
So, I mean, within some reason, I mean, stations that are significant outliers, I don't want to say they're necessarily gouging. I'd have to look at their, profit margins. It certainly sounds on the high side. 99.9% of stations are simply just trying to make ends meet, but there could be a few outliers. I've seen them near airports, near touristy areas in some states that, there's always going to be a few bad apples, no matter if it's gas stations or businesses in general. That's not impossible, and it does sound like that would be a case that I would look at. I'm going to bet that there's probably something going on there. A lot of the time when stations don't price their fuel, people pull in, and that's how they may get you. We see a couple stations like that in California and Beverly Hills where people don't care what the price is. We see it in your Disney World where people are just kind of stuck in the mindset of, I'm having a great time, and then they don't think about what they're filling up with. So it does happen that there's some bad apples.
Just about out of time, but last week I asked you if you could find any good news, and you came up with, well, we have gas. What's the good news this week?
Well, let's see how these so-called talks go. We'll see if the market has much confidence in them. But for now, the market is signaling that there could be some easing in prices if this pans out. So again, it's all about diplomacy. As long as there are talks being held, it doesn't necessarily matter if there's a good or bad outcome, but just talks are changing the calculation. You'll remember, a week or two ago, everyone was doubling down. We're not talking. We're not doing this. So these potential talks would be a pretty abrupt shift that may be more optimism for down the road.
It's 5:41. National headlines on the way here on KIRO News Radio.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
CBS News Brief. In Israel, the IDF intercepting an Iranian missile as Prime Minister Netanyahu promises to keep striking both Iran and Lebanon during possible negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump.
We are very willing to make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. And it's got to be no more wars, no more nuclear weapons.
Republicans standing firm as the partial government shutdown makes life miserable at U.S. airports. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Let's make it very clear. Donald Trump is the one standing in the way of paychecks for TSA workers with the ridiculous attempt to pass the SAVE Act.
As for the deadly collision between a plane and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport, NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
There is a lot of debris. We need to go through all of that and to figure out what we need to take back to the NTSB, to our labs.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
You know, retirement is supposed to be a time of rest and relaxation. But every week I get calls from seniors who are stressed out because their cost of living keeps going up. They love their home and they want to stay in it, but they're struggling with rising property taxes, monthly bills, and monthly mortgage payments if they have one. Hi, I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage, a local family-owned company. I specialize in the reverse mortgage, which allows seniors to tap into your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. A reverse mortgage is a great option for some people, but it's not right for everyone. So give me a call and you'll talk directly to me in person or over the phone for honest advice you can trust. Search for Best Mortgage on the web or call us at 425-649-6000. You'll talk to me, not an AI robot. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Jackson Hewitt will do your taxes for $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So if you're a delivery driver, / handyman, / wedding DJ, you pay only $149 or less. We're talking to you, waitress.
Check, please.
/ pet sitter, / influencer. Just $149 or less. Want your refund to work as hard as you? Hurry. Don't wait. File with Jackson Hewitt today. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
We call up CBS News money analyst Jill Schlesinger to talk about the big stories of the week.
Well, let's get to, we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve meeting last week. But first, we just want to get kind of a status update. How are we feeling as we head into a new week? Apparently, the president has said there were productive talks over the weekend, and the market seems happy about that.
Well, absolutely. It looks like that we have, first of all, we learned that the two sides are talking. That's huge, right? And from a perspective of the investment community, that's what needed to happen to kind of build a little relief. So almost immediately upon that announcement, we saw the oil market tank go down by like 10%. And I don't know, gang, like sometimes you lose sense of like what's 10%. Literally, that would be as if like the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 4,500 points in 10 minutes. It's just so huge and you can't imagine it, but that's what happens. And stocks which were set to drop by about 1% have reversed course and now up about 1%. So, all right, that's good. We don't have a deal, but we have talking, and talking is the maybe the overture to a deal. So we'll see how this goes. You know, it doesn't mean that your price at the pump is going to come down immediately, I'm sorry to say, but it is very good news for a whole host of reasons, not the least of which is that the economy was kind of looking a little shaky as all the prices for energy were filtering through.
And let's hope the president is telling the truth. The Iranians are now claiming no such talks are underway. So the market, I'm sure, will be kind of a roller coaster as this works itself out, Jill.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that really what is like the most, I'm not certain of anything when it comes to market outcomes, except that this is going to be volatile. And from 4 weeks ago, we talked, 4 weeks ago on the morning after these strikes. And one of the things I was trying to stress is you shouldn't try to outmaneuver the markets. You shouldn't try to do anything as a long-term investor. What's a really smart thing to do is to hang in there. Remember that any action that you take is an action that might have to be reversed down the line. And, for most people, if you're a long-term investor, you don't really need to worry about day-to-day, week-to-week, even month-to-month gyrations. You need to stick to your game plan.
Seems like we've been doing a lot of hanging in there these days. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a funny thing. I think that's, I was talking to my mom, who's 86, and I'm like, well, Mom, you've lived through a lot of things. She said, I know, but I didn't know about all these things in real time happening. And it's almost like the bombardment of the news cycle is exhausting. And I understand that. But so some ways that people try to make sense of that is to like, oh, well, I'm going to mess around with my retirement account. Well, don't do that. But if you are really freaking out and you're really worried, then you try to control, basically control what you can control and manage what you can't.
Let's transition over to your latest blog on JillOnMoney.com, because I think it might actually be relevant to where we are today, talking about the financial stagflation of the 70s and what's happening today. Tell us about this blog post.
Well, I mean, I thought it was funny last week. Funny, haha, no, funny, strange. It was actually haha moment at the Federal Reserve meeting, because there was a press conference after, and the Fed chair was asked about, hey, it looks like if this war persists, we're in for some stagflation. And, Jerome Powell clutched the pearls around his neck that he was not wearing and said, oh, don't say stagflation. That's a special word. That was what happened in the 70s. We don't talk about that. Okay, but really what the question was about was what happens, Chair Powell, when you have the economy slowing down, stagnating, amid price acceleration, inflation, stagnating economy, inflation, stagflation. And he's right. It was definitely popularized in the 70s because that was an extreme version of this. But, at the end of the day, the problem with the Federal Reserve's response is that there's only three things that they really can do. They can raise interest rates to try to fight off inflation that could be coming down the pipe because of this energy surge. They could lower interest rates because the labor market is weakening, or they could do nothing. Now, doing nothing seems to be what they've chosen because it is at least a way to kind of manage where the news flow is going around prices and the economy. Because, again, if they lower interest rates, they could spur more inflation. And if they raise interest rates, they could snuff out the economy, and that would put pressure on the labor market. So maybe doing nothing is the best thing for them to do right now.
In an economy like this, how do you protect yourself?
Well, I always go back to the basics, and I'll tell you what, I learned a lot in the pandemic. I used to say, okay, there's three things you have to do. You got to have an emergency reserve fund, pay down your high interest debt, and put money into your retirement account. And, when times are good, you sort of weight those equally. But I have really shifted to the number one thing you need to do is shore up your emergency reserve fund. So if you are due a tax refund, and tax refunds are trending 10% higher than they were a year ago, I would really encourage you not to spend it. I would beef up my emergency reserve fund. During periods of volatility and the unknown, having an ample emergency reserve fund is critical. If you've got a big chunk of money and your emergency reserve fund is fine and there's some outstanding debt still, sure, pay down that debt, because if inflation does come back, interest rates are going to stay high and debt is going to be expensive to finance. And if 1 and 2 are set, like I got my emergency reserve fund, I've paid down all my debt. If you've got some room to put some more money into your retirement account, the good news is this can force you to buy low. And meaning that if you see markets falling, it is hard to say, like, I think I will buy today. But if money is automatically coming out of your paycheck to go into your retirement account, then you may just buy low. It's just going to happen by accident. Now, yes, you're going to buy high sometimes, but by continuing to invest, because markets rise 70% of the time, you're going to be better off for that.
All right. JillOnMoney.com is where you can find out more. CBS Money Analyst Jill Schlesinger, thanks for your time this morning, Jill.
Take care.
It's 5:53. A check on the weather. Boy, what a change. It is very wet this morning. We're looking up to half an inch of rain for today. A little bit breezy as well, warming up to 54. Overnight low of 41. Tomorrow we'll see some scattered showers, definitely calming down in the weather department. 49 tomorrow, overnight low 37. Still a little bit breezy, but then Thursday, which happens to be opening day of Mariners baseball at T-Mobile Park, some sprinkles in the morning. Don't let that worry you. It'll be sunny by afternoon, 53 the high. Friday looks nice too, partly sunny and 57. So far the weekend looks dry. Right now in Seattle, it is raining and 44 degrees. Coming up in the next hour, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports on the potential of Washington service members headed to Iran, plus new toll-setting rules expected to be approved today. Chris Sullivan will break it down in this week's Choke Point. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio. Our inbox always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. We'd love to hear from you on the text line, too. Text us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, The number is 888-973-5476. 888-973-5476. This is Seattle's Morning News. This is KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Copstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
John is a national champion ping pong player.
My greatest claim to fame is an actor who portrayed the Chinese national champion that played Forrest Gump. I played him in a national tournament and I actually beat him.
Competing at that level takes precision and healthy shoulders. But after years of wear and tear, he was dealing with a serious shoulder injury.
I had a slap tear. Success rate for the surgery was only about 15%.
Instead of surgery, he chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experience in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
The next day, I was pretty much 100%. I was pain-free. I had problems with my shoulder for 20 or 30 years.
And have you been able to compete again?
I won a national title 6 months after the procedure. My shoulder's like I'm an 18-year-old.
So whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. For 34 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin at the airports where lines are longer than ever, with Congress still stalled on ending the partial government shutdown that's denying TSA workers their paychecks. Correspondent Skylar Henry is at Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
Travelers that we spoke with, they were in line for 4, 5, maybe even 6 hours. Some even forced to rebook, trying to figure out how to navigate these lines as well. We should point out ICE agents are here. They are here to assist what the Trump administration says as it relates to crowd control and the like.
Democrats in Washington are still balking at funding for the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump is urging Republicans not to budge until they approve his Voting Rights Act. Iran has fired a barrage of missiles at Israel. Officials say they hit Tel Aviv after President Trump reported strong talks with Iran to end the war. Correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is at the foreign desk.
Sources tell us that senior members of Iran's regime, and remember, some of the most experienced and powerful have been killed. The ones that are left are fighting like mad about what to do next, to talk, to stand firm, or to even up the pressure on the world's oil supply until America is desperate to make concessions.
The Senate has confirmed the president's pick for Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen.
The yeas are 54, the nays are 37, and the motion is agreed to.
He'll succeed Kristi Noem, who came under heavy criticism for ICE operations in Minnesota. Free speech concerns at Boston University after it removed Israeli flags and pride flags from campus buildings.
The university says the flags broke its rule against hanging displays that could suggest the school endorses them. BU and many other schools have adopted neutrality policies since the campus protests over the war in Gaza. These BU students say removing the flags was wrong.
Especially for a school that touts themselves as being an open and accepting space for all students. I think it's really important for people to be able to express their political beliefs in an institution.
The university says its neutrality policy is not singling out any specific communities. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A quadruple amputee cornhole champion is facing murder charges. The Charles County, Maryland Sheriff's Office says he killed a passenger in the front seat of his car while he was driving, as the two argued. CBS's Chanel Call.
A gun enthusiast, Weber posted videos to his personal YouTube channel showing him loading and firing several shots from a handgun. Investigators say it's another skill he's mastered.
Afghanistan's leader says Colorado researcher Dennis Coyle, who'd been held there for more than a year, has just been released. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
It's 6:03. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic on the 3s.
Well, about 10 minutes behind schedule in a lot of places today. That's what happens when we get the rain. But right now, it's not too bad. We've got about a 35 to 40-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. The brake light's there right around Highway 18 up past 272nd, a nice little gap. And then we're starting to see things right around I-90 into downtown. Valley Freeway, same deal, just some fits and starts. Got about a 40 to 45-minute trip for you guys. Only 20 out of Auburn, but we do have some slowing out of Sumner. And then Renton to Bellevue is running under 20 minutes. The Lake Bridges are still in very good shape. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Just a little bit of braking up through Nisqually. We're working your way up to Mounts Road. And then coming down from the north end, we're definitely starting to see a little bit of braking on 405. 40 minutes from Everett down into Bellevue, about 45 from Everett to Seattle as we're stacking up past Northgate. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Chihuly Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us today. A potentially major local development in the war on Iran. Troop transport planes have been assembling at JBLM, according to the open source community. Those are the folks who monitor publicly available data online.
Also, there are new claims from former counterterrorism director Joe Kent about what led to the war on Iran. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest on both developments.
Let's start with those planes at JBLM that are raising questions about whether or not the Pentagon is now sending special forces troops and airborne troops to the Middle East. These are the same open source community members who predicted other operations like tracking fuel tankers getting in place before the first airstrike campaign in Iran. They've been saying now that they've been watching 35 C-17 flights over the last 2 weeks, with 11 more flights on the way. Most of these C-17 flights originate from bases that are home to rapid deployment troops. They say that the flights have landed in Israel and at 2 airports in Jordan, that some were concealing their destinations and their origins, and some are flying entirely off the grid. And according to these sources, at least 7 of those flights originated at JBLM. You'll remember thousands of U.S. Marines are already on the way to the Persian Gulf as the Trump administration today insists negotiations are underway between the U.S. and Iran. Joe Kent, in the meantime, appeared on the Mark Levin show, claiming the Trump administration changed their strategy from no Iranian nukes to no Iranian enrichment, and that, Kent claims, led to no deal with Iran and military action instead. Here he was.
So nobody has contacted you from Justice or the FBI or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever leak classified information? You said no. Did you ever leak confidential information?
Nope.
Never.
Never.
Of course, we also know Kent here in our state for his run at the 3rd Congressional District. He also explained where the alleged leak story came from.
I never leaked any classified information. And the stories you're reading are stories from leakers who are leaking, I guess, maybe an investigation about me being a leaker. So I think it's just a media counter-narrative.
A lot of leaking going on, he says. Trump himself, though, said, you'll remember Joe Kent was under investigation for leaking information. Stay tuned, Chihuly and Manda, on both of these developing stories.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 6:06.
Seattle Kraken owner Samantha Holloway is making her move. Holloway announced a new parent company yesterday, One Roof Sports and Entertainment, and is taking majority ownership of Climate Pledge Arena. KOMO's Chris Daniels reports the timing is no accident. NBA owners vote tomorrow on whether to open up expansion bids, and Seattle's considered a top candidate, along with Las Vegas.
Sports management expert Natalie Welch at Seattle University says the move puts Holloway's stake in the ground. If the NBA expands to Seattle, any other ownership group would need to lease the arena or build their own. Governor Ferguson met with Commissioner Adam Silver of the NBA yesterday. He called it productive. KIRO 7's Dee Sun has that part of the story.
Governor Bob Ferguson met with the head of the NBA yesterday ahead of tomorrow's owners' vote on expansion. The governor's spokesperson tells us that the meeting with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver happened over Zoom and was productive.
A franchise could cost up to $10 billion.
Gas prices in Washington keep on climbing. AAA says the statewide average is now $5.29 a gallon. That's up 29 cents from a week ago, nearly $1 more than last month. In Seattle, it's even worse. $5.50 a gallon now. That's up 32 cents in the past week.
The national average is $3.98. That means we're paying about $1.50 more per gallon than most of the country. Here's Patrick DeHaan, the chief petroleum analyst at Gas Buddy.
Seeing prices now, gasoline just 25 cents a gallon away from all-time record highs in Seattle, $5.43 the current average. Diesel prices just 10 cents a gallon from reaching all-time record levels this morning, well over $6.
Experts point to Washington's gas taxes, Climate Commitment Act as the main reasons. Only California has higher prices. Washington has the second highest prices in the nation.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
We're day closer to baseball.
I know. Thursday is the big day. It looks like the weather is going to be pretty good.
It's going to be sunny by afternoon.
Yeah, we'll talk with Nick Allard about that. Sully will be out on the light rail, checking it out on Thursday.
Hopefully not treading water.
That would be bad.
Sully.
I mean, it's not like this has ever been done in the course of human history, putting a train on a floating bridge. Yes.
Yeah. So that is going to be fun to check out, especially as you look at. That's really going to expand getting across the lake and so many people able to
just think,
get there.
For Saturday, you could be in Bellevue and catch light rail to the Mariners game.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That could be super convenient.
Yeah.
So we'll check that out. This hour of Seattle's Morning News, sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
And coming up, you have a choke point, Sully.
Yes, I do. You guys like watching sausage being made?
Of course. It's
all right. We're going
favorite.
kind of behind, get a little wonky, going behind the scenes of the toll rate setting process and why a meeting today might get rid of the public's ability to give their input on when tolls go up or down.
Oh, okay. Huh. It's 6:09 now. The boy police say shot and killed 2 teens at a Rainier Beach bus stop back in January was in court yesterday.
An arraignment was expected, but prosecutors had other plans, as we hear from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Before the arraignment could get underway, King County juvenile prosecutors alerted the court their desire to move the case to adult court. The boy was 15 at the time of the alleged shooting, but has since turned 16. Casey McNurthy with the King County Prosecutor's Office says a judge will make the final decision.
It's up to a judge to weigh both sides and look at the legal factors that are at play and then decide where the case will go.
A decision could take months, if not longer. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And new video is shedding light on that shooting. Police say it shows the suspect walking through a neighborhood moments after the gunfire. KIRO 7 spoke with a nearby resident where the video was recorded.
Well, my instant reaction was somebody's on the loose in my neighborhood, and you guys better catch them. After that happened, I made a WhatsApp group, like a neighborhood watch group, so we can keep things safe.
And again, the teen is now charged in those 2 deaths.
Kitsap County authorities believe a man killed his own brother. The 34-year-old was arrested and booked into jail. Sunday night, deputies were called out on a domestic violence call and found a 30-year-old Paulsbo area man dead. The suspect is due in court today.
State Patrol asking for the public's help to identify a road rage driver who opened fire on another vehicle. That driver called 911 on Saturday night, reporting an aggressive, erratic driver near I-90 and 405. Here's Washington State Patrol Trooper Rick Johnson.
This vehicle was apparently tailgating and then passed him and brake checking, then passed on the shoulder and then paralleled with the individual. That's when the shots were fired.
Troopers say the vehicle was hit twice. They are looking for a late model black BMW X7. If you have information, you are asked to call 911.
The man arrested last week for causing nearly $250,000 in damage at Seattle's Chihuly Garden and Glass is expected in court this morning. The update from KIRO 7's Dee Sun.
The suspect, who has no prior criminal history, will enter a plea. According to court documents, last week security guards found him smashing sculptures and throwing shards of glass at them. In total, 12 sculptures were damaged, with the estimated cost being more than $200,000.
He now faces several felony charges.
Mariners are putting to bed any potential drama between Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. Raleigh says they talked face-to-face after that infamous interaction at the World Baseball Classic.
It's in the past, and none of us are carrying this forward, and we're in a good spot.
Everything's fine. In a statement, Arozarena says he and Cal are brothers and teammates. Randy made headlines nearly 2 weeks ago when he cursed out Raleigh for not returning a handshake at the World Baseball Classic.
Just get along, people.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great season. 6:12 right now. Let's check on the weather. Boy, it is wet. We bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. Good morning.
Good morning. Wet now and wet for at least the first half of the day before it then tapers off to showers. It will also be breezy to windy, so most of us will have rain at times. Pick up about a half an inch of rain, if not a little bit more, although lighter in Snohomish County. And then I think you'll be breezy with gusts around 30, 35 miles per hour. Could be a little bit stronger, though, where you have advisories, say, like the Island County area north, or a little bit of North Snohomish County, and out to the coast. So those spots could have gusts in excess of 40 or higher, 45 maybe. So, yes, widespread rain now. And then we'll look forward to tapered showers this afternoon. Might pick up an isolated thunderstorm here and there. Tomorrow, we're still going to see scattered showers, maybe a little bit of a convergence emergent zone again with, yes, just cool weather in the upper 40s. So it'll be just an active one tomorrow. Not quite as active as today, though. And you'll even see a little bit of snow in the passes tomorrow with drier weather Thursday. You might wake up to a shower or two on Thursday. That's it, though. And then the day itself will be dry. It'll be chilly and clear and calm for the Mariners game, and staying dry on Friday and Saturday before we see a couple of showers for Sunday. I don't see much, but at least the home opener is going to be dry. The game Friday, anything Saturday. But yeah, on Sunday we will see at least a couple of showers. But in the meantime, like you said, it's wet now. It'll be breezy to windy, and then it will be a little bit lighter this afternoon, but still just wet and active.
Clear and calm, just like Nick Allard.
Yep, that's the story of my career.
That's what you're known for.
Yep.
Thank you, Nick. Right now it's raining and 44 in Seattle.
Let's get a check on traffic now. Sully is over at the traffic desk.
And that rain is causing a little bit of delay across the board, but overall, we're not in that bad a shape. Coming down from the north end, though, we're definitely up over 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Not only do we have the brake lights away from Linwood, we also have a few just getting down to Linwood from about 112 to 128 down to the Mill Creek interchange there through all the weaving and merging. Once you get down past that, it's kind of a typical day. I-5 pretty heavy from 145th on down. Northbound I-5, a little slowing through Nisqually, kind of down the hill into the basin. Overall, 35 to 38 minutes to get you to Tacoma. A few brake lights up the hill to 18 as well, and then already over 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. 45 now from Puyallup to Renton. Brake lights in Sumner, just a little variety. You hit them pretty legitly right around around 18, and then the rest of the way on up isn't terrible. And then Renton to Bellevue is already about 25 minutes. Lake bridges are good, though. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
What was that about making sausage?
Yeah.
All right, it's
we're making
time.
sausage.
The State Transportation Commission is expected to approve new toll setting rules today.
Okay, why does it matter to you? It will increase the speed in which tolls can be set and could eliminate public comment in certain situations.
Explain, Sully.
Okay, now that the roads in our region, most of them have some kind of toll on them. Think back at that. Last 10 years, we've really seen an explosion in tolling around the state. The Washington State Transportation Commission is expected to vote today to streamline the process and eliminate some of the red tape involved in the current process. Makes sense, right? They're trying to get up to speed now that tolling is much more common. At its most basic, the rate-setting process takes too long, and it can be hard to understand because you're going through all sorts of state law, a bunch of legalese. There are 50 different sections in the administrative code of Washington that you have to go through. The changes that they are going to vote on today would remove most of them. So here's how rate setting works today if you've never sat through a Washington State Transportation Commission hearing, and I'm sure most of you haven't. The commission suggests a change. Then there's a public comment period. The commission votes to make the change. Then there's another public comment period. And then the change eventually takes effect in a month or two. It takes a very long time. There are a lot of hoops to go through. There's a lot of process. During a work session on this last month, the state's Aaron Halbert, the financial analyst, says that today's vote would eliminate a lot of that waiting.
This is effectively the work that we currently do. We're just getting rid of the tail end of our current rate setting process where we do all this work and then we are kind of waiting around for a month and a half before the rates can go into effect.
Under the new rules, the commission would announce a potential change 30 days before it would take effect, open up public comment right there, and then vote, and the changes take effect. And then they just have to let us know. And all of this information would live on the commission's website. You wouldn't have to go to the revised code. You wouldn't have to go to the administrative code. It'd all be there in one place, kind of a clearinghouse to see as someone from the public how this works. Here's Commission Executive Director Rima Griffith.
The idea here is really to make this kind of information more accessible to the public and to make it in plain speak so the average person can go to our website and actually understand how the rules work and the regulations and what the rates are in one spot.
However, this change in rate setting also includes a new emergency provision. If the legislature tells the commission that it must change a toll or a policy to meet legal or financial obligations, Halbert says they could just skip public input.
What that would allow us to do is effectively skip that public outreach process. If the legislature directs us to do something, we wouldn't necessarily need to go through this public process. We'd be able to implement those new rates or policies immediately.
I don't know about you, but, Halbert said, this kind of an emergency would be a rarity. Yeah, but how often have we seen the legislature determine things to be emergencies? Millionaires tax, a few other things. So, maybe a rarity. Maybe it's only going to hit $15 when it really has to, but it hits it every day. So that has me a little concerned. We lose out on the potential for public comment, again, under an emergency situation. Executive Director Griffiths says the rule changes, though, isn't about that, and the public should feel better about this.
We see this as a huge improvement for public access and information gathering and transparency. So it is not a move to make things easier to happen or quicker or to bystep any kind of public process. I think we've actually enhanced what that public outreach will look like.
Sully, every time I hear the government say, and it doesn't matter who it is, the White House currently right now or what we're hearing right here, we're increasing transparency. It means the exact opposite.
Yeah. And again, this is but that's what caught my ears. Like during what we have now, there are two opportunities for the public to weigh in on when a change is made like this. Now, in most cases, a lot of people say, well, they don't care what the public says anyway. They just vote it through.
Of course they don't.
But at least there's a chance. But now that there's an emergency provision in this, that allows this to move a lot faster and eliminates us from the ability to get in there.
How is that increasing transparency and expanding outreach?
Well, again, if you look at the non-emergency part of this, and maybe I'm overblowing the fact that this emergency could happen more than we but I just go by the state's track record. But what this does on its most basic level is it provides all the information now in one spot on the website, as opposed to having to go read through all the revised code and things like the administrative rules. So I get that part of it, but this part about the emergency does kind of raise my hackles a little bit. And if the rules are adopted today, this would take effect in May. So this would change, how we raise the toll rates, which are most likely going to go up from 15 to 18 or more. That's something they've discussed in the past. Or,
there would be one chance to have public comment instead of two if they increase the tolls.
That is correct. Or maybe change rules of HOV requirements or things like that. This is underneath the purview of the Transportation Commission.
In the history of ever, has there been a public comment that has swayed the decision from one of these lawmakers?
Well, if you look through, very recent history, considering how many people signed up against the income tax versus how many signed up for
Those
it.
Were all
and
bots,
what happened there.
Those were all bots.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Again, this is what we're here for as watchdogs of government, is to remind you when changes are being made. I could see where this makes perfect sense to streamline the process now that tolling is not rare in this state. I don't like this emergency clause because it cuts us out potentially as the public in this. And we're seeing this happening more and more often. Everything's an emergency now, and all that does is potentially cut people out of the process. I don't like that. But that's why I'm here explaining how the sausage is made. You can read it. You can go through the PowerPoint that the Transportation Commission has at mynorthwest.com, get into the minutia, and look at the 50 different rules that they have to go through. Now there will only be 5 and things. So, check it out for yourself. But, that's what we're here for. This could change things. It'll change things significantly and get out of a little bit more public comment.
I think I said earlier, watching the sausage being made was one of my favorite things. I may have lied.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't want to know.
Well, yeah, and this is wonky. This is a very small commission, but it has a very big impact. This is the same group that takes care, does ferry rates and things like that. But this is as it relates to tolling and things like that.
Would this be only tolling, or would this just be overall?
As near as I can tell, this is tolling rates only.
Okay.
And I'd never heard once them mentioning the fact that this would go towards ferry rate setting or things like that. They have their own process there. It's not like ferries are new, like tolling has been, and the explosion we've seen. We now have it on 167, 405, 520, 16, 509, 167, the new section that they're building down by the Port of Tacoma. So,
Crystal wants to know in Tacoma, what on earth would cause a tolling emergency?
Well, and again, that's the thing, is it's kind of an open end that, say, for instance, what comes to mind just really quickly, and again, I'm playing this off the cuff. Imagine a worldwide pandemic just happens. That would,
Never
I know it's
happened.
really hard to imagine something like that. And all the funding for the tolling roads to pay back our bonds ends up zeroing out in our bank account because no one's traveling, so no one's paying tolls. The legislature could say, okay, we need to raise the tolls to $20 in order to recover our financial obligation, to cover our financial obligations. That's how I see this going. It's a legal or financial obligation that the legislature would have them direct them to do, would give them this authority. So that tells me the bar is pretty high, but high bars in this state seem to lower and lower and lower when it comes to, certain things, a lot of it about our money.
Nick's playing you off.
That makes sense.
But he wants you to talk about, okay, Nick, we get it.
Because I'm in the weeds.
He wants to do traffic now. Nick is a taskmaster. Do not upset Nick. What's going on in traffic, Sully?
Well, right now it's actually not too bad. I mean, we have the weather, and that's adding a little bit of slowing here and there. Like if you're coming down for the north end, you're probably going to need 50 minutes from Everett down into Seattle, and about 45 from Everett into Bellevue. There's actually brake lights around 128th as well. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle, about 45 minutes now. It's not terrible and more yellow than red on the map. And the Valley Freeway's at 45. It is pretty heavy getting into and through Auburn at this point. And then Renton to Bellevue is relatively normal at about 22, 25 minutes. Lake bridges are good. Coming up through Nisqually, you're going to see just a few brake lights there, but we're under 40 minutes to Tacoma, and that's a pretty good day. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Our forecast quite wet, up to a half inch of rain a possibility for today. 54 the high, but things are going to taper off tomorrow. Just scattered showers, 49. Opening day for the Mariners at T-Mobile. Sprinkles early on Thursday, but then mostly sunny and 53. Right now it's raining and 44 in Seattle. And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey on the settlement in a discrimination case involving a Seattle police detective and what it means for SPD internal training and policies. Also, your opening bell report coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Now, a word for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do right now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and that is tax planning. The right tax planning can significantly reduce what you owe on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, your Social Security benefits, your investment income, and not just for 1 year, for the rest of your life. The savings could be six figures. The team at Boss Retirement Solutions wants to show you exactly how much. Schedule your free retirement tax savings analysis. Call them at 206-210-1350, 206-210-1350. One thing could change everything. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC? Well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got three options. Number one, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TILA, TILAmortgage.com.
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. TILO Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Mariners fans, the 2026 season is officially on deck. And Cal, Julio, and the defending AL West champs are ready to feed off your energy at T-Mobile Park. Be here for every monster home run.
There it is, number 60. The magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Every 100-mile-per-hour heater.
And he throws it and the ball game's over. Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Every clutch moment.
A bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
It's going to be an epic 50th season, and you won't want to miss it. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners' first homestand is almost here. Don't miss opening day Thursday at 7:10. Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night Saturday at 6:40. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And next week's showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
It's now 6:31. Good morning. A Seattle police detective who sued the department over discrimination has reached a settlement.
Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more.
Yeah, the city of Seattle will now pay Detective Denise Bolden, better known as Detective Cookie, $750,000. She sued the city back in 2023, claiming racial and gender discrimination. She claimed her supervisors belittled her and questioned her loyalty to the force because of her relationships in the city's communities of color. She also claimed it got so bad some officers refused to give her backup in the streets. In recent years, Detective Cookie, and you may have seen this, I remember her stories for sure. She made the rounds in national media for her community policing work. Here she was on the Kelly Clarkson Show talking about creating a chess club in Rainier Beach.
I got a small grant and was able to get the chess going on. And these are kids who are mostly from the Rainier Beach area of Seattle, which is one of the most diverse communities in the United States.
There's now a chess park in Rainier Beach named after her. She says she became a police officer way back when, or she wanted to, way back when she watched one officer in Chicago where she grew up, buying kids breakfast, talking with them, getting to know them. She said she wanted to be a cop just like that.
Kids are learning to be around police officers through me, and they're loving it.
Yeah, she started on the force way back in 1980, been on the force for 40 some years now. SPD says it is now reviewing internal training and policies.
Luke Ducey with our live report.
New data shows Pierce County Sheriff's deputies use force against people of color more than they use it against white people.
The News Tribune reports in 2024, deputies used force against black people and Native Americans more than 3 times as much as against white people. That's according to a use of force report presented to the County Council's Public Safety Committee. That data is from before current Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank took office.
We're evaluating things all the time and trying to do the best training we can to keep the communities and suspects safe.
Swank tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM that when deputies or officers use force, it's based on the situation, not a person's race. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
All right, time to get a check on traffic. We head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
And our volumes are building. Travel times are going up. We're already an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with 40 of those minutes away from Linwood. So definitely starting to see the early pressure on this Tuesday, which is usually one of our heavier days of the week. We're also up to about a half an hour through the Renton area up through Bellevue. Those S-curves are very slow today from 167 all the way up to 30th. After that, though, it's not too bad. Not a significant spillover onto the Valley Freeway, but it is slow. And then you have the stuff in Auburn. We're over 45 minutes to make that drive now from Puyallup up into Renton. Eastbound 512 also a little slow getting down into Puyallup. Northbound 5 up over 40 minutes now from Olympia to Tacoma. Brake lights down the hill out of Lacey and then through the Nisqually Basin as well. And then Federal Way to Seattle's about 48 minutes now. Definitely seeing some brake lights there. Also very heavy around the Sinclair Inlet as you go from 16 to Highway 3 and Gorst, trying to work your way up into Bremerton. That appears to just be volume. Haven't found anything there yet, and the lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Last year was one of the hottest on record. Get efficient heating and cooling with a Home Comfort Alliance heat pump for the price of AC. Don't wait. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Rainy, breezy for your Tuesday, and we have up to a half-inch of rain, a possibility. 54 the high. Overnight low of 41. Tomorrow, scattered showers, but some sunshine by afternoon and 49. Thursday looks terrific. Possibly some sprinkles early, but then mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. And 53. Friday looks nice, too, warming up to 57. Right now in Seattle, rain and 44.
6:35 now, time for the opening bell report. Perhaps they saw this coming. CBS's Jesse Mitchell says 2 of the biggest prediction market platforms are taking steps to prevent some insider trading.
Prediction markets Polymarket and Kalshi have announced steps to block people of authority from trading on events their position could influence, and are also aiming to prevent trades based on illegal tips and stolen confidential information. In a statement, Kalshi says it will preemptively block politicians and athletes from trading in certain political and sports markets. It comes as the market has faced scrutiny in recent weeks after wagers were made on the Venezuela raid and the war with Iran.
Markets have been swinging with every new development out of the Middle East, raising questions about just how closely investors are tracking headlines from the region. Chief economist at the PNC Financial Services Group, Gus Fauché, explains how directly markets are reacting right now.
We're concerned about fertilizer supplies, and that's going to hit our farmers if shipping remains cut off in the Strait of Hormuz. Global economic growth is softening because, even more so than in the United States, a lot of other countries, particularly in Asia, depend on oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz.
A new study finds the gender pay gap in the United States is widening and even erasing past progress toward equal pay. Here's CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Pay scale found women are still being paid less regardless of education level, and the gap widens even more with age. The company's Lulu Cycli.
Women earn 82 cents for every dollar earned by a man, which is down 1 cent from last year. And that translates into a lot of money year over year, about $14,300 less per year in median pay, or more than $1 million in lost earnings over a 40-year career.
And with roughly 80 million women in the workforce, that translates into $1.1 trillion in lost earnings each year.
A new report suggests this spring's job market for college grads is the worst since the pandemic.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says the unemployment rate for graduates ages 22 to 27 jumped to 5.6% at the end of last year. The overall jobless rate was 4.2%. One big factor is AI. In November, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei warned 60 Minutes that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years.
And my worry is that it'll be broad and it'll be faster than what we've seen with previous technology.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Yes, wars and world crises can impact car and truck sales. This is Jeff Gilbert with the Car Chronicles. From the oil shocks of the 70s to the Gulf War to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, world events have been followed by big drops in car sales.
In at least 3 episodes, they cut back their sales by 40% or more. Now, these were temporary, but they also include episodes like in the 1970s twice, were very severe disruptions in the auto industry.
Economist Patrick Anderson says it's too early to say what will happen with the latest conflict. He's also quick to add that the U.S. is in a far better place than it was in the 70s.
We are arguably the world's largest producer of oil now. And in fact, we export a lot of oil. But that doesn't mean we're completely insulated.
Anderson says the price of gasoline does have an impact on vehicle sales, but it's not always immediate. With the Car Chronicles, I'm Jeff Gilbert, CBS News.
6:39, checking the markets this morning. Dow is down about 318 points at 45,889. S&P 500 down 34. The NASDAQ down about 134.
And I was just noticing Brent crude trading at 104. So price on that is headed up. Word for KIRO 7. Spring showers? Yeah, right. More like spring sprinkles, downpours, hailstorms, cold snaps, flooding, and sometimes even a little sun. Spring in Western Washington changes day to day, even hour to hour. And that's why you need experts who have decades of experience and the right tools to keep you weather ready. Watch KIRO 7 pinpoint weather forecasts in every newscast and on the KIRO 7 apps for your phone or TV.
It's 6:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the struggle that is already happening southbound I-5 and 405 out of Linwood. We'll break it down next.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
2 competing budget proposals.
Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do? My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years.
and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guarantee rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
It's 6:43. Chris Sullivan has traffic for us.
We are really struggling out of the north end already. We're 10 minutes behind schedule minimum with an hour plus to make it from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue with 405 bumper to bumper all the way away from Linwood. And of course,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often and only when it really has to.
Really early this morning to hit that $15 mark out of the Linwood Express toll lanes all the way down into Bothell. I-5, different story, same travel time, but you don't hit the brakes till you're down to about 145th. So if you're getting off at Shoreline, you're going to have an okay drive. There's also slowing getting into and through the Marysville area from about 88th on down. Coming up from the south end, some brake lights there through the Nisqually Basin, over 40 minutes now to make it up into Tacoma, maybe 45 there. Looking at both ends of 512, seeing heavy brake lights, westbound 512 getting from Parkland over to I-5, and for eastbound there as you work your way down the South Hill. And then Puyallup to Renton's running about 48 minutes now. Renton to Bellevue, a little over a half an hour. The bumper to bumper begins right there in the beginning of the S-curves at 167 all the way up past 30th. Federal Way to Seattle's actually the one route that's not doing too badly. We're under 50 minutes on the drive there. And it looks like we're seeing some very heavy braking on westbound 16, trying to get around the corner through Port Orchard around Highway 3 up through Gorst. One of my KIRO drivers let me know there was looks like a police stop in that general area that might have caused the slowing that we're having. But we're almost backing up to Sedgwick. That's a pretty significant backup. This report brought to you by me, KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's going to be a very wet Tuesday. We're looking for up to a half inch of rain for today, warming up to 54. Overnight low 41, and then improving weather as we inch toward opening day at T-Mobile Park. Just a few scattered showers for tomorrow, some sunshine in the afternoon and 49. Thursday morning, that's opening day, sprinkles in the morning, but then mostly sunny skies for the ball game, 53 the high. Friday looks nice too, warming up to 57. Right now in Seattle, rain and 44.
Coming up, a look at the concerns surrounding predictive marketing apps like Kalshi, how lawmakers in states like Washington and California are looking to crack down. That's coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's 6:47. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. As prediction markets explode in popularity, there are concerns they might bypass state gambling laws. In states like Washington and California, Kalshi and similar predictive marketing apps are giving people an easy loophole through the laws, raising concern with lawmakers. CBS's Jolene Kent has this report.
Before catching his UCLA Bruins play at Poly Pavilion, freshman Samuel Jiang always checks the game's odds on Kalshi. But there's just one minor problem.
Sports gambling is illegal here in California, but you are effectively able to do the same thing on Kalshi.
It's amazing to me how Kalshi is legal in basically everywhere.
State law prevents Californians from betting on sports, but they can now trade on them. Prediction markets give users the ability to make money by, well, predicting anything, from Oscar winners to election outcomes to Taylor Swift's bridesmaids. And when it comes to March Madness, anyone can put money down from the comfort of home.
So obviously I'm going to bet on UCLA.
Or a fraternity house.
How much?
I'll do $25.
25.
So I'll get $49 if I'm right.
I dropped by to watch the game with sophomore Oliver Seifert at the Lambda Chi Alpha House at UCLA. And yes, it looked and smelled like a frat house.
How many of the other guys here are betting?
Say tonight, it might be like 10, 20%, but like on the Super Bowl, I bet 80%.
Polymarket did not respond to our request for comment. Kalshi said it's not a gambling product, but an exchange overseen by strict Wall Street regulation. And thus, sports trading has even spread to Utah, where there's a gambling ban written into the state constitution.
We like what we have in Utah a lot better than what we see in Nevada with regards to some of the social impacts and the societal impacts of gambling.
Brady Brammer is a Utah state senator. He's backing a bill to block what he calls an attempt to circumvent the Utah Constitution.
Our Constitution is quite clear. We are not authorized by a body to support any form of gambling.
Setting the stage for a legal battle pitting states against the White House.
Blocking things in certain states is the wrong way to handle this.
Mike Seelig runs the federal agency overseeing prediction markets. He says they're here to stay nationwide. And for those who object, Seelig recently issued a stern message.
Let me be clear. We will see you in court.
But for March, at least, all eyes will be on the basketball court. For CBS Mornings, I'm Jolene Kent in Los Angeles.
It's totally gambling.
Yes,
come on. I think, well, you know, it's not technically. Come on.
It's predictive marketing, Charlie.
No.
It's gambling.
I mean, just don't tell me what it is straight. And maybe, you know, we have a little transparency. What do you think? All right. Off my soapbox. I'm only supposed to do that at 7:35, Manda. You're supposed to tell me not to do it.
I'll allow you at 7:35. For now, I'll take over.
Okay.
A Kitsap County man arrested on suspicion of DUI was not behind the wheel of his van. He was actually sitting on top of it.
A deputy found the driver and his van on Sunday evening in unincorporated Port Orchard. The sheriff's office says the man claimed he had swerved to miss a deer, but they say he was slurring his speech and had alcoholic iced tea containers in the vehicle. Authorities say the man's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
We have a picture of this guy sitting on top of his overturned van at mynorthwest.com.
The Senate has voted to confirm Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin as the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Here's News Nation's Rashad Hudson.
Mullin steps into one of the most challenging moments for the Department of Homeland Security, with a partial government shutdown dragging on and no clear deal in sight. Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin is now the nation's new Homeland Security Secretary, confirmed by the Senate in a close vote.
Is confirmed.
He takes over an agency partially shut down and thousands of TSA workers still on the job without pay.
To restore the full funding for airport security and the TSA.
To help ease the pressure, the Trump administration deployed ICE agents to airports.
And they're helping TSA, the agents.
Democrats warn those agents are not trained for airport security.
They come to their airports and they see ICE agents who have no training.
ICE agents are going to miss things, and that's assuming they focus on security. What if they do what they've done in other cities and start harassing travelers?
Meanwhile, President Trump is urging Republicans to hold the line, insisting Democrats support a voter ID bill, the SAVE Act, before any deal to reopen DHS.
Don't worry about Easter going home. In fact, make this one for Jesus, okay?
Mullen will be sworn in later today at the White House, and the governor of Oklahoma will appoint a new senator to his seat. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Here's an indication vehicles are getting safer.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety honoring 63 vehicles as tops in safety, most with the highest Top Safety Pick Plus designation. President David Harkey says this comes even as they have raised their standards.
It's a really good news story for us that the automakers are paying attention to what we're trying to achieve.
Vehicles that are kept off the list generally have issues with crash prevention, backseat protection, or headlights. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
6:53 now. Chris Sullivan has traffic on the threes for us.
And we have a pretty, well, I don't know if it's a super serious situation, but we've got about a 4-mile backup on westbound 16 to northbound 3, getting into and through Port Orchard and around the corner in Gorst. My drivers are telling me that it's traffic stop related, but I'm not sure if a lane's blocked or not. Don't have eyes on it, but we have a backup that starts at Sedgwick and goes all the way around the corner and then through Gorst up towards Bremerton. So plan on some delays there. We've also been working with a crash on westbound 512 right before you get to I-5. They're coming through Parkland, getting over to Lakewood. So plan on a little bit of delay there. Northbound I-5, about 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. It's heavy through Lacey to about Mounts Road. Then after that, it's not too bad the rest of the way. Some brake lights in Fife, and then we're looking at about a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 48 minutes. Valley Freeway, definitely well over 50 with a half an hour right there from Auburn on up. It is bumper to bumper all the way into Kent, so not exactly a great day for you guys. And Renton to Bellevue is already over a half an hour. Lake bridges are still doing great, which is one positive today. Out of the north end, hour and 10-minute trips with about 50, 55 of those minutes away from Linwood. So well behind schedule there. And we do see braking getting through Tulalip on southbound 5, trying to make your way into Marysville. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube, click subscribe, and get fresh video content daily.
Rainy and breezy for your Tuesday, 54 the high today. Things will calm down tomorrow, just scattered showers, some peaks of sunshine by afternoon, and 49. Right now it's raining at 44 in Seattle.
Coming up, News Nation's Leland Vitter joins us at 7:15 talking about airport delays across the country and the latest developments in peace talks between the U.S. and Iran.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO Newsradio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Many financial plans include some level of tax awareness. When retirement begins, considering taxes isn't enough. One overlooked tax decision can quietly cost families thousands over time. At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your plan isn't built around products. It's built around coordination. Licensed CPAs and experienced advisors working together, aligning investments, retirement income, and intergenerational planning using tax-efficient strategies. Madrona Financial and CPAs, planning built on credentials. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. ICE agents are on duty at U.S. airports for a second day, but there's no sign it's helping with those hours-long waits as TSA workers decide to sick out en masse instead of working without paychecks. This passenger spoke to KHOU-TV at Houston's Bush Intercontinental.
We tried to get here extra early because we heard about everything going on with the airport and everything like that. So,
wait, y'all got here at 9 p.m., so you've been waiting here all, night and morning?
Yes, sir.
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve reports on a ray of hope. Congress is set to end the partial government shutdown.
There are finally some signs that there may be a framework coming together to fund most of DHS, which would include TSA.
NASA's just announced it'll spend $20 billion over the next 7 years to fast-track a permanent base on the surface of the moon. NASA Administrator Jarek Isaacman.
The moon base will not appear overnight. We will invest approximately $20 billion over the next 7 years and build it through dozens of missions, working together with commercial and international partners towards a deliberate and achievable plan.
He's also outlined plans to deploy a fleet of helicopters on Mars. Airstrikes are battering Iran, Iranian missiles and drones targeting Tel Aviv and other sites across the Mideast, despite President Trump's stated efforts to reach an agreement with Tehran. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
President Trump insisted the U.S. is talking to what he called a, quote, top person.
We're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader.
A senior Iranian foreign ministry official says Iran is reviewing points sent by the U.S. through a mediator, but no formal talks are underway.
New reports suggest this spring's job market for college grads is the worst since the pandemic.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says the unemployment rate for graduates ages 22 to 27 jumped to 5.6% at the end of last year. The overall jobless rate was 4.2%. One big factor is AI. In November, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei warned 60 Minutes that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years.
And my worry is that it'll be broad and it'll be faster than what we've seen with previous technology.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Supreme Court takes up a case today that could decide whether migrants can claim asylum protections before they set foot on U.S. soil. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
The government's arguing that these individuals had not actually arrived because they had not entered the United States. And the asylum seekers were being turned away at ports of entry until they could actually physically be in the United States.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
It's 7:03. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And you could add about 10 minutes to your drive just about everywhere with the weather that we have out there. This is really manifesting itself up in the north end, where we have an hour and 20-minute trip already from Everett into Bellevue, with close to an hour just from Linwood. I mean, it is bumper to bumper and just not getting better. And even though it's $15 in that express toll lane, you're not moving anywhere near faster than the folks in the GP lanes. It does clear up by 1/60th. For I-5, it's about 15 minutes faster. It's an hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Seattle, with the brake lights there from 145th on in. Up in the Marysville area and across the trestle as well, things are getting a little bit better now that we've gotten past 7 a.m. Northbound 167 struggling into and through Auburn, 30 minutes from Auburn and 50 plus all the way from Puyallup. And both directions, either direction of a 512, really heavy. Eastbound right there through South Hill, and westbound trying to get away from Highway 7 in Parkland. We've been working with a crash in the left lane there. For those of you trying to get up into Bremerton, we're definitely seeing the impact of an earlier, what drivers have reported to be a traffic stop. We're really heavy from about Bay Street now around the corner. Definitely not backed up to Sedgwick anymore, so that's positive. And then across the lake, we're okay. And if I didn't give you a Federal Way to Seattle's right around 50. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Last year, one of the hottest on record. Get efficient heating and cooling with a Home Comfort Alliance heat pump for the price of AC. Don't wait. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Chihuly Garden and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. A potentially significant local development in the war with Iran. Troop transport planes have reportedly been leaving Joint Base Lewis McChord for the Middle East. This is according to open source observers who gather publicly available information.
Meanwhile, former counterterrorism director Joe Kent is raising new questions about what led to the conflict in the first place. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest on both developments.
Yeah, let's start with the flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord. They're fueling questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces and airborne troops to the Middle East. Now, open source analysts, the same group that tracked fuel tanker movements ahead of the initial airstrikes in Iran, report dozens of C-17 flights over the past 2 weeks, and right now as we speak as well. Many are departing from bases, they say, tied to rapid deployment units, with some reportedly landing in Israel and Jordan. At least 7 of those flights, they say, originated from JBLM. Also new this morning, the Jerusalem Post is reporting the deployment and arrival of U.S. forces in the area is proceeding as planned, including 2,500 U.S. Marines and 3,000 paratroopers. Joe Kent, in the meantime, appeared on the Mark Levin show, claiming the Trump administration changed their strategy from no Iranian nukes to no Iranian enrichment. And he says that is what led to no deal with Iran and military action instead. Here was an exchange between Levin and Kent on the show.
So nobody has contacted you from Justice or the FBI or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever leak classified information? You said no. Did you ever leak confidential information?
Nope.
Never.
Never.
Of course, we know Kent here in our state for his run for the 3rd Congressional District. Last week, he resigned as director of counterterrorism, saying Iran posed no imminent threat. Well, Trump accused him of leaking intelligence and said Kent was being investigated. That's kind of what you heard in that exchange there. Well, last night, Kent also explained where those allegations may have come from.
I never leaked any classified information. And the stories you're reading are stories from leakers who are leaking, I guess, maybe an investigation about me being a leaker. So I think it's just a media counter-narrative.
Again, he claims that the FBI has not contacted him in any way, shape, or form. We'll have more on these developing stories, of course, throughout the morning.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 7:07.
The push to bring the Sonics back is getting serious. Kraken owner Samantha Holloway formed a new parent company yesterday and is taking majority control of Climate Pledge Arena.
And former Kraken CEO Todd Leiweke didn't mince words.
Going forward, what we hope, and there could be a big moment forthcoming, and we're going to be ready.
NBA owners vote tomorrow on whether to open expansion bids in Seattle and Las Vegas. Governor Ferguson spoke with Commissioner Adam Silver of the NBA yesterday, called the conversation productive. His office says the meeting covered logistics and timelines ahead of that upcoming league vote. A new franchise could reportedly cost $7 to $10 billion.
Another week, another jump at the pump. The average price for a gallon of gas in Washington is now $5.29, up nearly $1 from just a month ago. In Seattle, drivers are now paying $5.50. Compare that to the national average of $3.98. Washington has the second highest gas prices in the country, behind only California. Patrick DeHaan is chief petroleum analyst for Gas Buddy. He says diesel is what's going to have a major ripple effect across the economy.
Trucks, trains, tractors. I mean, the economy is powered by diesel. So to see up and down the West Coast diesel prices over $6 a gallon in Washington, approaching $7 in some areas of California, very impactful to what you pay for in the grocery store.
Diesel in Washington averages $6.49 a gallon now. That is up $1.63 in the past month. Experts blame the state's gas taxes and the Climate Commitment Act for that gap.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's the 24th of March.
Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. Sully is rocking out over there.
I had no idea you could do that dance. That's quite impressive.
I mean, I was a kid when Thriller came out. It's been a while since I pulled that move, but
yeah.
I think I just ruined my oblique.
Producer David's air guitar was quite impressive as well.
Yeah, he plays it really well. We have Mike Seibert in as well with David training and running the show. Nick Krasia is running the board, picking the tunes.
Okay, coming up. Leland Vitter from News Nation joins us to talk about ICE agents at our airports as President Trump considers deploying the National Guard.
And in today's 7:35 commentary, we'll discuss a justice system that is completely surrendered to habitual drug offenders.
It's 7:10. A Seattle police detective who sued the department alleging discrimination has reached a $750,000 settlement. Here's KIRO 7's Dee Dee Sun.
Denise Cookie Bolden sued the city back in 2023, accusing supervisors at SPD of belittling her and saying that she got regular and continuous complaints about her relationship with the black community.
SPD says it's reviewing internal training and policies.
King County juvenile prosecutors want to move to adult court, the case of a teen who allegedly shot and killed two Rainier Beach high school students in January. The 16-year-old appeared in court for the first time yesterday for an arraignment. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says the arraignment is on hold until decision on a jurisdiction is made.
It's a pretty long process. Usually it takes several months, sometimes even a year, like we've seen in the Fall City case, for that decision to be finalized.
A judge will have the final say on where the teen is tried.
And Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes says surveillance cameras played a key role in arresting that 16-year-old. Barnes tells KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula show.
A lot of teamwork. Looking at public space cameras really helped. And, of course, having the community support and having the community's information is always where you start.
Those public space cameras are facing extra scrutiny by the city. Just last week, Mayor Katie Wilson announced she's pausing the planned expansion of the system, noting privacy concerns.
A road rage incident leaves a car with two bullet holes after it happened Saturday night in Seattle.
WSP says the incident happened Saturday night around 7:30. A driver reported he was exiting I-90 to southbound 405 when a late model black BMW SUV started to harass him, then opened fire, striking his vehicle twice. Fortunately, no one was injured, but Trooper Rick Johnson is asking for the public's help in locating the BMW.
If you saw this black SUV flying down 405 and you happen to get some identifying information off of it, then we want to hear from you.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
It's now 7:12, and there's apparently no beef between the Mariners' Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena after their dust-up at the World Baseball Classic. Raleigh says the two recently cleared the air.
Yeah, I mean, we talked it out and everything went great. And, Randy knows that I love him, and, he's a brother. And it's it's in the past.
That flare-up happened nearly 2 weeks ago when Arozarena spoke to the media and cursed out Raleigh for not returning a handshake during the play. Arozarena also released a statement calling Raleigh a brother and a teammate.
I just want to make it clear, Nick Aller is also a brother and a teammate. We had that dust-up over Nick taking my Dapper Dan pomade, but Nick, I forgive you.
Yeah, I am a Dapper Dan man, so that makes total sense. And if you ever touch it again, I will kill you in public.
Oh,
What?
goodness.
Is that allowed?
I thought we weren't dusting up, Nick.
Wow.
Oh, we're not. No, there's no dust up. It'll just be cold-blooded murder. It's fine. That kind of thing's okay. Look, if you do it nicely, isn't it okay?
Yeah.
This morning. Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, if someone would have told me that, it would have been fine.
This took a strange twist.
Hey, Nick, we're on the air.
Oh, that's good. 3-2 soccer breakdown in 3-2. Hey, this morning we have some widespread. I use a texture powder anyway, so I'm not using pomade anymore. Duh. We have rain that's everywhere, and some of it's actually kind of heavy, and it's just going to be like this through the morning hours. So at times a little bit heavy. It will taper off by say early afternoon and be kind of a scattered shower day with temperatures getting into the mid 50s. But it will also be breezy to windy, so expect some breezy conditions, expect some wet weather, and then expect it to be kind of a decreasing shower afternoon, which is nice. Then tomorrow, we're just going to see some scattered showers. Both days may see an isolated thunderstorm. Drying out Thursday, so we are dry for the Mariners game and staying dry again through Saturday. Maybe just a couple of passing showers for Sunday. But you know what? We solved it. We aired our grievances, and we don't even have the festival poll yet, or the Festivus poll yet, so we're all good.
And we have Leland Vitter coming up. He's actually won an award for having best news anchor hair.
Yeah.
So you might be in danger for that throne, Nick.
I can't mention the awards that I've won on TV, so it's not good.
Right now in Seattle, it is raining and 44.
I've entered some sort of alternate universe. Chris Sullivan, how's traffic?
Well, it's great with my forming cream in place.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just kidding. I'm too lazy. You can kid me, I'm a radio person, but apparently there's a TV involved. Maybe I should start doing my hair and my beard. That'd probably be appropriate.
How's the traffic?
It's not great. Like my hair. We're looking at very slow conditions away from Linwood. We've got about an hour drive now from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. It is just not moving coming down 405 away from Linwood as we work our way. Also from southbound I-5 as we work our way through the shoreline area. Looking at northbound I-5, about 50 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle Valley Freeway over 50 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's about 35. Lake Bridges are still good. And we're still kind of struggling getting in through the Port Orchard area around the corner past Sinclair Inlet up through Gorst. My drivers are reporting that was the result of a traffic stop. This report brought to you by Seattle Mariners. Opening day Thursday, March 26th. Don't miss out. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
It's now 7:15 on your Tuesday morning as lines at our airports grow longer and delays increase. Leland Vitter, host of On Balance on News Nation weeknights, writes in his blog War Notes, quote, "I'm confused."
All right, Leland, why are you confused?
Well, I'm confused, as I think a lot of Americans are, including people who want to really support the president and support our troops, as to what the mission is in Iran. Is Iran an evil empire that needs to be destroyed because they pose an existential threat to America and have shown their willingness to commit economic blackmail on America and the world? Or are they people we can make a deal with and that we should make a deal with? And that really, I think, is the overarching question now that for so many of us we're trying to figure out.
For those who do support Trump and the troops, what does winning the war with Iran look like?
Well, that's a real question. I think the Israelis have a pretty good idea, which is to begin some kind of popular revolution inside of Iran, which would be a really great thing to have happen. And I think it's very possible. But, you think about what happened in the first and second Gulf Wars. The air wars took 40 days, and nobody was sitting around going, when is it over? When is it over? Part of the problem is, I think, the reporting on the military successes have been very unfair to President Trump and the military. But secondly, this is a president who started a war without selling the war and has been very inconsistent, which means the American public doesn't really know what they're rooting for or what they're watching for.
Well, in Leland, to that point, it's a word salad coming out of the president lately when he's talking about this. In the same 2 minutes, he can say the war is just about over and then say we can stay there a long time. He can make all these statements. Can you just talk to the importance of a communication strategy out of the White House?
Well, Donald Trump will tell you that he's his own best spokesperson. He's his own best communications director. And that is certainly proven true. The problem right now for that is the American people are confused. When 57% of Americans think that we're not doing well or the war with Iran is going badly, when the United States has destroyed large portions, if not the vast majority, of the ability of our most significant ally over the past, or most significant enemy over the past 50 years to wage war, and 57% of Americans say it's going badly, there's a disconnect. And that has not been, I think, properly explained by the White House in terms of what the strategy is, and more importantly, the why. And that's the problem right now for the president, is they want to have the why that Iran is an evil empire that's chanted death to America, that's killed thousands of Americans, that is responsible for the IEDs that have many American soldiers without limbs right now. And yet President Trump wants to say, well, we can make a deal with them. You can't have it both ways. And I think the one thing that we've learned over history, millennia, that the only way that evil can be dealt with is for it to be killed, for it to be cut out, much in the same way that Nazi Germany was, in the same way bin Laden was. We can go down the list. But that is what is necessary, and that's not what's happened so far.
I want to switch gears and talk about what's happening at the airports. Do you think having ICE agents who are being paid, working alongside the TSA agents who are not being paid, is going to help fix things at the airports?
Well, the issue right now at the airports is there's not enough people who can do the jobs that are needed, right? Which is why there's long lines. So if you could have ICE agents checking IDs rather than TSA agents, so the TSA agents can use the x-ray machines, that'd probably be pretty useful. Is a bunch of ICE agents standing around on their phones, talking to people in lines going to help much? No. And again, this is an optics problem for the administration. It's bewildering why they didn't roll this out to have even 50 ICE agents trained to use the little things that you put your ID into, so you would have that picture of the ICE agents needed to help the TSA. It would have been great for the administration, but they seem not to have thought that far ahead.
There's a group of Republican senators, John Kennedy of Louisiana among them, out with a bipartisan solution that sounds like the Democrats would be on board with. But it's really a wild card whether the president will be on board with it. What do you make of that if the Congress can come up with a solution, but the president still says no way?
Well, the president has often shown himself to be very malleable in these situations. He makes typically extremist demands, right? There's going to be no solution unless it includes the Save America Act, which is the voter ID bill, and then all of a sudden retreats far from that. And he's been shown to do that in the past. The question is Congress want to leave Washington for their 2-week vacation with this still a problem? And that's going to be a real issue for this administration.
Talking with Leland Vitter, host of On Balance on News Nation. I want to switch gears once again and talk about what you write about on your blog, War Notes, the real March Madness. We've been talking about this new bipartisan bill introduced to the Senate that could ban all prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket from offering bets on sports and casino-style games. You say these apps are bad for the country. Why?
Well, this is the question, which is what is it doing to America's youth, particularly young men? And it is terrible. It is objectively awful. The only thing DraftKings is king of is their own bottom line, which keeps increasing at the expense of young men who are sitting there betting on all sorts of stuff. I think the bipartisan bill to ban, this very narrow part of this very narrow market is a little bit like putting a Band-Aid on a femoral artery wound. And that's what really is happening in America right now to young men who are being, taken advantage of by this extraordinarily addictive opportunity that they have. It's one of the very few places that government can actually be useful.
Don't you feel like you're taking crazy pills when you're told Kalshi, Polly Market aren't gambling? I feel like I am just being gaslit when they try to tell me this isn't gambling.
Well, right. And the idea that you're talking about, you can bet on what the temperature in Washington, D.C. is going to be tomorrow. This is the definition of gambling. Now, they argue, well, no, it's prediction markets because people have, their own information and their own analysis to decide what the chance of different things are happening. Then you have the insider trading issue. The larger sense, I think, is what it does to society. And the federal government is not good at many things, but there are things that we've decided as a society that it's good at doing, namely protecting us in some ways from ourselves. Seatbelt laws are a great example. Airbags in cars are a great example. Providing for the national defense. We've long held for hundreds of years that pervasive access to gambling is not good for a society. I'm not sure why that changed with the advent of the mobile phone.
Leland, I'm happy to say I agree with you this morning. We appreciate your time, as always. Leland Vitter, host of On Balance on News Nation weeknights.
That is a rare compliment. You never say that to me, Amanda.
I love Leland. I love you.
Okay, 7:23 now. We check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Well, I think we can all agree on this to say wish Charlie a happy birthday today.
All right. Happy birthday, Charlie.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, happy birthday. Your commentary better be good. What have you done for me lately? Okay, out of the north end, we are still really struggling with hour drives away from Linwood to get you down into Seattle or to Bellevue. Hour and 20 minutes total there on those drives. I mean, we're really packed in. Also, still seeing very heavy slowing on westbound 16 to northbound 3 around the corner in Gorst. We're backed up all the way to Sedgwick again, so we're looking at about a 3.5-mile backup there. Olympia to Tacoma's back under 45 minutes. But not by much. We have cleared the crash westbound 512 getting over to I-5. Still have heavy slowing on eastbound 512 down to the South Hill into Puyallup. And then Sumner to Puyallup to Renton is running right around 55 minutes now. Renton to Bellevue over 35, maybe closer to 40 because of the brake lights you're going to hit right around I-90. Federal Way to Seattle about 50 minutes. And then across the lake, we're not too bad. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio's app. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Rainy and breezy today, 54 our high. We're looking for up to a half-inch of rain. Tapering off to just scattered showers for tomorrow. Might see some clearing in the afternoon and 49. And Thursday happens to be opening day for the Mariners at T-Mobile Park. Some sprinkles early on. Don't let that worry you. We'll see sunshine by afternoon and 53 the high. Right now, still raining and still 44 in Seattle.
Coming up, the day's top stories, and in the 7:35 commentary, we'll talk about a frequent offender. So brazen, he actually built in drug paraphernalia into his car dashboard. He's been arrested 98 times. We'll talk about it at 7:35.
And this is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one the locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This is Sully. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets a detailed Carfax update, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needing, easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Buckys.com today and drive with confidence.
Hey, it's Jason I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. What is something someone can do right now to protect themselves from being on the wrong side of the IRS?
It's really pretty simple, and that is do it right. File on time and pay on time. Yet things do get in the way, like we know. And if you have situations where you're feeling a little concerned about what's in your tax return, get some professional help. And there is a group or a class of people that just think they can put anything they want in their tax return, and they think they are being smarter than the government. It's kind of like the person, the narcissist that thinks they're smarter than everybody else and they're going to get away with it. They will maybe for a while, but the time will come. There will be a day of reckoning.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
New year, new you. Have you thought about how your finances might change in 2026? Free checking from WaFd Bank is the way to go. With no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about, you get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, you'll also get useful tools like voice-activated banking, so you can check your balances and make transfers between your accounts when your hands are full. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Chihuly Garden and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. A Seattle police detective who sued the department over discrimination has reached a big settlement.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with more.
And the city of Seattle will now pay Detective Denise Bolden, better known as Detective Cookie, $750,000. She sued the city back in 2023, claiming racial and gender discrimination. She claimed in her lawsuit that her supervisors belittled her and questioned her loyalty to the force because of her relationships in the city's communities of color. She also claimed it got so bad that some officers refused to give her backup on the streets. In recent years, Detective Cookie made the rounds in national media for her community policing work. You probably heard these stories. Here she was on the Kelly Clarkson show, for instance, talking about creating a chess club in Rainier Beach.
I got a small grant and was able to get the chess going on. And these are kids who are mostly from the Rainier Beach area of Seattle, which is one of the most diverse communities in the United States.
Well, there's now a chess park in Rainier Beach named after her. She says she became a police officer after she watched one officer in Chicago, where she grew up, buy kids breakfast. They talked with them, got to know them.
Kids are learning to be around police officers through me, and they're loving it.
And SPD says it is now reviewing internal training and policies. Charlie, Manda.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 7:32.
A Tacoma man accused of stabbing his housemates and setting their recovery home on fire now faces a murder charge. One of the victims died last week from his injuries. Police say Andrew Keene attacked 3 people at the substance use recovery home in January. He had only moved in 3 days before. One of the victims ran into the front yard with severe stab wounds, his body still on fire. Keene was already facing arson and attempted murder charges. He's being held now on $1 million bail.
An open door at a home under construction in the Bremerton area led authorities to a safe full of drugs over the weekend.
The deputy checking it out found a man slumped over behind the wheel of a car parked in the middle of the road. Authorities say that man had 26 grams of fentanyl. Deputies later found a second man who they say had another 1.7 pounds of fentanyl in a safe. They also seized what appeared to be steroids along with a stolen handgun, ammo, and magazines. And on top of that, they found what they describe as sensitive material that had been stolen from a law enforcement support agency. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's now 7:33. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. What's up, Sully?
Well, my drivers like Shane and Jared let me know that it is really coming down in Port Orchard and Gorst. Visibility might just be the issue that we're dealing with now on westbound 16 around the corner in Port Orchard. And we're backed up to Sedgwick, and that usually doesn't happen without a crash, but my drivers aren't reporting any crashes, just really, really bad visibility and conditions. So that's what we're dealing with over there. On this side of the water, it's not much better. I just went outside and took a look, and we've got a river running down East Lake. That's how heavy it's coming down, and our travel times reflect that. Hour and 20 plus from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with over an hour away from Linwood. Coming down through Marysville, though, it's not as bad as it has been. Westbound 204 and westbound 2 are a little slow getting to the trestle there at the east end. 522 is a little heavy as well. 203 out of through Duval also. We've still had some flooding issues kind of lingering into today in that little corner of our map. Looking at Olympia to Tacoma, not terrible. Tacoma itself off and on braking here and there, but manageable. And then Federal Way to Seattle's getting closer to an hour. Well over 50 from Puyallup to Renton, and Renton to Bellevue's 40 minutes. Lake bridges are holding their own, but westbound 90 is definitely starting to see some braking across Mercer Island. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready to be transported to the golden era of rock. John Waite, John Cafferty, and the Beaver Brown Band live at the Emerald Queen Casino April 9th. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Yeah, that rain's going to be heavy at times, up to a half inch for today. A little bit breezy, too, and a high of 54. Tomorrow, scattered showers early on. Might see some little breaks in the afternoon, 49 tomorrow. And then Thursday looks pretty nice. Just a few sprinkles in the morning, but then mostly sunny skies and 53. Friday looks like we'll see sunshine, too, and a little bit warmer, 57. Right now in Seattle, it's raining and 44 degrees.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 735 commentary. A few weeks ago, I told you about a man in Thurston County who'd been arrested 15 times, 3 of those in 3 months. Burglary, porch piracy, burglary again. It seemed like a lot, a bit excessive. I asked at the end of that commentary, at what point do we try something different? I wasn't expecting an answer this fast. When you buy a truck, you've got options, right? Leather seats, upgraded stereo, maybe a sunroof. But Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders just found a vehicle modification I guarantee you will never see at a dealership. A custom bong built directly into the dashboard of his pickup truck, designed so the driver could comfortably smoke drugs while cruising down the interstate. A listener just now on the text line says this is called a stash in the dash. That's who Sheriff Sanders and his deputies were chasing this week. The driver and passenger had just run a retail theft spree across Lewis County using stolen bags from one store to steal from the next. Deputies spotted their truck on I-5, and before the lights even came on, the truck bolted. 2 pursuits, both terminated because his driving was so reckless it was dangerous to keep chasing him. He was blowing through intersections at high speed through downtown Olympia and into Lacey. That's how innocent people die. Family heading home, a kid crossing the street. We are handing the wheel to a guy who's apparently high on meth and fentanyl and has no intention of stopping. They eventually found the truck abandoned. A canine track led deputies to both suspects walking through a nearby neighborhood, and inside the truck, thousands of dollars in stolen merchandise, meth, heroin, fentanyl, and the bong. The driver is a 4-time convicted felon, 27 misdemeanor convictions, and as of this week, this was his 98th arrest. 98. I was outraged about 15 in that last commentary. We're talking 98 arrests for this guy. Now, chance number 2 is compassion. Chance number 98 is a justice system that has completely surrendered. These people know exactly how it works. They know the odds of staying in jail are practically zero, so they get comfortable. So comfortable, they literally install drug paraphernalia onto their dashboards. Well, now he's back in jail on DUI, eluding drug possession charges. And once he's out of Thurston County, he'll face organized retail theft charges in Lewis County. Once he's out, because he will be out. That's how this works. Washington ranks 3rd worst in the nation for property crime. I wonder why. We've got career criminals with nearly 100 arrests, still running retail theft rings, still fleeing police through residential neighborhoods, still driving around with custom drug setups in their trucks because the consequences have never been serious enough to change the math. Sheriff Sanders posts about this on Facebook because I think at some point you just need to have someone bear witness to how absurd this has become. The deputies are doing their jobs. They chase them, they catch them, they book them, and then we let them go. He built a drug pipe into his dashboard, not because he's stupid, but because he's learned 98 arrests will teach you exactly how seriously the state takes your behavior. He's done the math. He's seen the consequences. He looked at all of it and decided the risk was low enough to install a custom bong in his truck for convenience after 98 arrests. 98 arrests and counting. At some point, that's not on him. That's on us. And that's the 735 commentary for Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
There was an unusual DUI arrest in Kitsap County. Deputies found a man perched on top of his overturned van Sunday in unincorporated Port Orchard. He claimed he had crashed while trying to avoid hitting a deer. The sheriff's office says he had slurred speech, alcoholic iced tea containers inside the van, and a blood alcohol level more than double the legal limit. You can see a picture of him sitting right there cross-legged on his van at mynorthwest.com.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Wait a minute, just to be clear, this was a custom bong. This wasn't stock.
The dealership no longer has stock bongs.
Okay,
no.
Okay, but just curious. We have a new crash on southbound I-5 right at the Edmonds exit. HOV lane is blocked. We'll talk about it next.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO Newsradio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry! This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TILA Mortgage.com.
Kilo Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hartley Wilcox here. Do you know where your food comes from? If it's perishable, you should read the package. Wilcox Farms eggs are locally fresh from Washington. For the freshest choice, choose Wilcox Family Farms.
7:43 now. Time to check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we have a new crash to tell you about. It's on southbound I-5, right there after the Edmonds exit, right there where we have the bus barn. Well, not the bus barn, but the transit center there in Mount Lake Terrace. The HOV lane is blocked, and so we do have a pretty sizable backup now building behind this thing. You add that to the normal drive, and we've already got an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett into Seattle, with about an hour and 15 of that just from Linwood. So that is a pretty ugly drive. We're looking at least 25, 30 minutes slower than you might expect. Same deal with southbound 405. It's just bumper to bumper from Linwood all the way now down through Totem Lake. Hour and a half for the drive from Everett to Seattle, with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. Very heavy braking today from Sedgwick westbound on 16 all the way around Port Orchard and into Gorst. Drivers are reporting there is a crash in there. Other drivers have said it's just heavy volume and bad visibility with the weather that we have. Federal Way to Seattle, an hour drive. Valley Freeway over 50 minutes now, really thick through Auburn and at the north end part of that drive. And then Renton to Bellevue, we've got a standard 40-minute trip for you. Both of the lake bridges are seeing a little bit of westbound slowing. For I-90, it's right there on Mercer Island. For 520, it's tying into 405, tying into I-5 there at Linwood, my mistake. Also seeing construction causing you slowing on westbound 90 getting into Issaquah. 18 over Tiger Mountains, it's normal heavy self. Olympia to Tacoma, though, not too bad. Valley Freeway, I already told you, is a little over 50. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Last year, one of the hottest on record. Get efficient heating and cooling with a Home Comfort Alliance heat pump for the price of AC. Don't wait. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Rainy and breezy for today, 54. In fact, the rain's coming down at quite a fast clip. 100% chance of rain today, up to a half inch. For tomorrow, just scattered showers. Should see some peaks of sunshine in 49. Opening day for the Mariners at T-Mobile Park on Thursday. A few sprinkles early on, but then it's going to be a nice day, mostly sunny in 53. Right now in Seattle, it is still raining in 44.
All right, Sully, what's coming up in your choke point?
Well, we're going to take a look at toll rate setting. I know it's something you really, really want to pay attention to. No, I'm serious. They might get rid of public comment on this. Coming up on KIRO News Radio.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, here we go. The Washington State Transportation Commission expected to approve new toll setting rules today. Why does it matter to you? It will increase the speed in which tolls can be set and could eliminate public comment in certain situations. Here to break it down for us is Sully.
And now that most of the region's roads have some kind of toll on them, the Washington State Transportation Commission is expected to vote later this morning to streamline the process and eliminate some of the red tape involved in that current process of setting the rates. At its most basic, the rate setting process takes too long, can be hard to understand. There are 50 different sections of administrative code to go through before they make these changes to make sure everything is satisfied. And the changes being voted on today would remove most of them. So here's how rate setting works today. The commission suggests a change. There's a public comment period. The commission votes to make a change. Then there's more public comment period, and then the change takes effect maybe in a month or so, maybe 90 days down the road. During a work session on this last month, the state's Aaron Halbert, a financial analyst, said today's vote would eliminate that waiting.
This is effectively the work that we currently do. We're just getting rid of the tail end of our current rate setting process where we do all this work and then we are kind of waiting around for a month and a half before the rates can go into effect.
Under the new rules, the commission would announce a potential change 30 days before it would take effect. There would be public comment there would be a vote, and then the changes would take effect. And all of this information in the process would live on the Washington State Transportation Commission's website. Right now, you have to go through all the minutia and all the detail, the revised code, all the procedural stuff. Right now, all of this would be set there right there on the website, and you could do it all in one place. Commission Executive Director Rima Griffith.
The idea here is really to make this kind of information more accessible to the public and to make it in plain speak so the average person can go to our website and actually understand how the rules work and the regulations and what the rates are in one spot.
All right. Streamlining is good. Efficiency is good. This change, though, in the rate setting also includes a new emergency provision. If the legislature goes to the commission and says, hey, we've got to change a toll or a policy to meet legal or financial obligations, Halbert says that would allow them to just skip the public input.
What that would allow us to do is effectively skip that public outreach process. If the legislature directs us to do something, we wouldn't necessarily need to go through this public process. We'd be able to implement those new rates or policies immediately.
Well, Halbert told the commission in February that the legislature declaring an emergency like this would be a rarity. I think we've all seen how many times the legislature can, at a whim, just determine something to be an emergency, and whoop, there goes public comment, and we're kind of left out of this. Executive Director Griffith says the rule changes should make the public feel better about the process, even with that.
We see this as a huge improvement for public access and information gathering and transparency. So it is not a move to make things easier to happen or quicker or to by-step any kind of public process. I think we've actually enhanced what that public outreach will look like.
But anytime the legislature can announce things as an emergency, I'm always wary that you're basically doing the exact opposite. You're getting rid of transparency. You're cutting the public out of the process. And we'll see how this goes when they vote for this, what the emergencies, if they will turn out to be a rarity or if it's something the legislature will do. Hard to imagine what an emergency would be for declaring toll rates or changing the HOV requirements. But I'm sure if the legislature can find a way, if they wanted to, if these rules are adopted today, as they are expected, this would all take effect in May.
I know Jason Mercier with the Washington Policy Center sent me an email. I was looking for it right now, and he pointed to dozens and dozens of cases where the legislature has declared something an emergency or a necessity, and it bypasses all those those rules. So it is not something that you would typically think of as, oh my gosh, this is, the Capitol is burned to the ground. We need to build a new one. That would be an emergency. Instead, this is stuff that you don't even normally consider an emergency. And the legislature has shown itself to be using it more and more often.
And again, who gets left out in the cold in this one? The public, with an ability to tell their legislators what they like or don't like. And in this case, it would be the Transportation Commission. We'll see how this goes. Yeah,
and give us like the rose-colored glasses version of this. What do supporters say? Why do you think it's a good idea to get rid of at least one of the two public comment sessions?
Well, it'll speed up it speeds it up, because way it is now, they vote for something and then they have another public comment on something that they've already voted on and they're not going to change. So why not just vote for it and it takes effect? It speeds up things. And it's also, what it does is it takes a lot of everything out of the administrative code process and puts it all on the website. So there's one clearinghouse for information for the public can go, all of a sudden they say, hey, by the way, we're thinking of raising the toll rates on 405 and 167 to $18. That would take effect in 30 days. What do you think? Give us your information. Then there'd be a vote, and then it would take effect or not take effect. I think it gets rid of the red tape. It could speed things along. It makes things more efficient now that we have tolling almost everywhere. But again,
what would a skeptic say?
A skeptic would say, okay, that's all well and good, but I think they would focus in on the same thing I did, which is this emergency clause, and what would an emergency be that would require no public comment on a change in toll rates or a change in HOV requirements? What is so dire about that? And I get it, for legal or financial obligations. If we can't pay off our bonds, or we're about to default on our bonds because no one's riding in a toll lane, well, perhaps that would be an emergency. I could see that, but anytime they declare emergency, it just makes me wary. And I'm here to advocate for the public, because they probably have never even heard of this.
You're
commission.
their conduit.
And I'm glad to do it.
That's what I hear. Well, I'm guessing we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Soon.
Yeah, or hopefully never.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more emergencies.
Keep us posted.
All right. What's going on in traffic?
Well, we're still working with this crash on southbound I-5 right there at the Nile Golf Course, the Edmonds exit. It's blocking the HOV lane. There's a relatively small backup around it, because that's also a spot where emergency vehicles can come in, and there's a very sizable shoulder there, so it's not causing as big of a backup as it could be. But we still have an hour and 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle, hour and a half from Everett to Bellevue, way behind schedule. Northbound I-5, not bad through the Kent Des Moines Road, and then really heavy from the middle of Boeing Field on up. Well over an hour, Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway, 55 minutes. About average for a Tuesday. Renton to Bellevue, about 45 minutes, maybe a little under, depending on how you hit it. I-90. Both of the lake bridges are okay till you get over to the I-5 side of things, and we continue to struggle on westbound 16 from Sedgwick all the way through Port Orchard and around the corner in Gorst. My drivers are telling me it's just a lot of volume and really, really bad driving conditions. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, there is a lot of rain out there this morning. It's breezy, too. 54 the high for today. Things will taper off tomorrow. Just some scattered showers in 49. Thursday looks great. Sprinkles in the morning, but sunshine by afternoon. It's 44 in Seattle.
Coming up, more of the day's top stories, and we'll also hear from CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland talking about the latest in Iran. That'll be at 8:15. This is Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals.
Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Spring is a perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of zero down, zero payments, and zero interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan.
All gates, all flights, all airlines will be right here to the
TSA turmoil, Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport, one of the places where security lines have been hours long. CBS's Skylar Henry.
Here in Atlanta, more than 40% of TSA officers called out on Sunday. Those numbers continue to be relatively high yesterday. We should also point out that they expect those numbers to continue to increase as those TSA officers are on track to miss that second full paycheck.
Senators are discussing a proposal to pay TSA workers as the partial government shutdown continues. Overseas, airstrikes pounded Iran, and CBS's Chris Livesay tells us Tehran fired away at nearby U.S. allies, including Israel.
Missiles rained down on Tel Aviv overnight, and this morning, the aftermath of it was apparent as the sun came up. We witnessed not just the interceptors, but the missiles that got past the interceptors in Tel Aviv, striking residential areas.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. While Western politicians urge restraint, one leader's reportedly pressing President Trump to come down harder on Iran by ousting its leaders and even putting boots on the ground. The New York Times reports Saudi Arabia's Prince Mohammed bin Salman has had several private conversations with Trump in recent days, calling the U.S.-Israeli offensive a chance to remake the Middle East. The White House will say only that President Trump's private conversations are just that, private.
NASA says it will pause its Gateway project that would have created a space station in orbit around the moon, looking instead to the lunar surface.
NASA says it will invest $20 billion to build a permanent moon base over the next 7 years.
We will return Americans to the moon before the end of President Trump's term.
NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman says robotic exploration will ramp up sharply, with up to 30 lunar landings beginning in 2027.
We intend to work with no fewer than 2 launch providers with the aim of crewed landings every 6 months, with additional opportunities for new entrants in the years ahead.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Now to Maryland, where a 27-year-old quadruple amputee is accused of murder in the shooting death of a man who was in the passenger seat of a car he was driving.
The driver and the front seat passenger were apparently engaged in an argument, but I'm not sure what about.
Diane Richardson of the Charles County Sheriff's Office says the man who's charged, Dayton James Weber, is a professional cornhole player who lost his limbs at 10 months old after getting a life-threatening blood infection. Checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 79 points. The S&P is down 3.5. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. It's 8:03. We head over to Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
Would you stop finishing people's sentences?
Well, if they would finish them on their own, he wouldn't have to.
Oh, boy. Look at the drive. Boy, it is really wet. If you're out there, I don't have to tell you that. It is coming
I just went outside.
down.
It's pouring outside our studios.
What were you doing outside, by the way?
I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
getting a delivery for someone's birthday.
Now, whose birthday is it today? Well, we are dealing with a crash on southbound I-5 right there by the Edmonds exit there, right by the Nile Golf Course. It's in the HOV lane. Not a huge backup behind it, surprisingly, but that's in a spot where there's a really wide left sidewalk, shoulder there, so there you're getting by it, but it's still over an hour and a half from Everett to Seattle, hour and a half as well from Everett into Bellevue. Not pleasant up there. Coming up from the south end, we're trying to get better, but boy, their brake lights off and on from Olympia on up through Tacoma, just here and there. Give yourself 50 minutes to make that drive, and then an hour from Federal Way to Seattle with about 35 of that from South Center. The Valley Freeway up over 50 minutes, so 10 or 12 minutes behind schedule for you. 40-minute drive from Renton to Bellevue. Across the lake, definitely some westbound slowing on both of them. Give yourself about a half an hour to make that drive as you go from Bellevue over to Seattle, and we are looking at a really heavy backup getting from Sedgwick westbound 16 around the corner in Port Orchard to Gorst. Drivers are reporting that it is just really heavy rain and bad visibility. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Tuesday, March 24th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
A potentially significant local development in the war with Iran. Troop transport planes have reportedly been leaving Joint Base Lewis McChord for the Middle East. This is according to open source observers.
Meanwhile, former counterterrorism director Joe Kent is raising new questions about what led to the conflict. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest on both of those developments.
Yeah, let's start with the flights. Flights out of JBLM are fueling questions now about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces and airborne troops to the Middle East. We want to take a look on the YouTube feed. If you're watching right now, what we've got is some images from FlightAware, which is a software program. This is just one military flight, a C-17 that I've been tracking this morning that I caught flying out of Spangdahlem Air Base in Germany. It looks like it's over the Mediterranean right now is this flight path. It's at some 31,000 feet, flying at 535 miles per hour. But as soon as it got through Greece and around Greece and Turkey, it looks like it's made a turn toward the Middle East. This doesn't necessarily confirm the reports that we're talking about, but it does confirm that at least there is a C-17 being tracked going to the Middle East right there. Just kind of an example of what we're talking about here.
It's that open source intelligence that people are able to follow this with publicly available data.
And that's where we're getting our information from. Open source analysts, this is the same group that tracked fuel tanker movements ahead of the initial airstrikes in Iran. They're reporting dozens of C-17 flights over the past 2 weeks and right now as well. Many are departing from bases tied to rapid deployment units, with some reportedly landing in Israel and Jordan. At least 7 of those flights, they say, originated from JBLM. Also new this morning, the Jerusalem Post is reporting the deployment and arrival of U.S. forces to the area is proceeding as planned, including some 2,500 U.S. Marines arriving there in the area near the Strait of Hormuz and 3,000 paratroopers. We report this because, obviously, a lot of people are wondering, as the Trump administration claims that they are undergoing negotiations with Iran this morning, that there's a buildup of forces and there could be some type of ground invasion. A lot of people watching that. Let's move on to Joe Kent now. He appeared on the Mark Levin show claiming yesterday that the Trump administration actually changed their strategy on Iran from no Iranian nukes to no Iranian enrichment. And that is what Kent claims led to no deal with Iran in the first place and military action. Here's an exchange between Kent and Levin about whether or not he is under investigation or has been contacted by the FBI because the allegations are that he leaked intelligence information.
So nobody has contacted you from Justice or the FBI or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever leak classified information? You said no. Did you ever leak confidential information?
Nope.
Never.
Never.
Of course, we all know Kent in our state from his run for the 3rd Congressional District. Last week, you'll remember he resigned as Director of Counterterrorism, saying Iran posed no imminent threat. Again, Trump accused him of leaking intelligence, and Kent is saying that he's never been contacted by the FBI, and he is not being investigated that he knows. But two pretty explosive developing stories this morning, Charlie and Manda, that we're following very closely. Stay tuned here at KIRO News Radio and check out mynorthwest.com for the very latest as we move on through the day.
Luke Ducey joining us live. It's 8:08 now.
Seattle Kraken owner Samantha Holloway is making her move. Holloway announced a new parent company yesterday, One Roof Sports and Entertainment, and is taking majority ownership of Climate Pledge Arena. KOMO's Chris Daniels reports the timing is no accident. NBA owners, we've been telling you, vote tomorrow on whether to open up expansion bids. Seattle is considered a top candidate along with Las Vegas.
Sports management expert Natalie Welch at Seattle University says the move puts Holloway's stake in the ground. If the NBA expands to Seattle, any other ownership group would need to lease the arena or build their own. State leaders are in contact with the NBA commissioner. KIRO 7's Dee Dee Sun has that part of the story.
Governor Bob Ferguson met with the head of the NBA yesterday ahead of tomorrow's owners vote on expansion. The governor's spokesperson tells us that the meeting with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver happened over Zoom and was productive.
A franchise could cost up to $10 billion.
Gas prices in Washington keep climbing. AAA says this morning the statewide average is $5.29 a gallon. That's up 29 cents from a week ago, nearly $1 more than last month. In Seattle, it's even worse, of $5.50 a gallon, up 32 cents in the past week. National average, $3.98.
That means we're paying about $1.50 more per gallon than most of the country. Here's Patrick DeHaan, the chief petroleum analyst at Gas Buddy.
Seeing prices now, gasoline just 25 cents a gallon away from all-time record highs in Seattle, $5.43 the current average. Diesel prices just 10 cents a gallon from reaching all-time record levels this morning, well over $6.
Only California has higher prices. Washington is the second in the nation. Experts point to Washington's gas taxes and the Climate Commitment Act as the main reasons.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Oh, happy birthday, Charlie.
Thank you.
This is why I've been so distracted this morning, because I actually forgot your birthday treats at home this morning. And so I've been running back and forth to my desk to fill up my Instacart to have something delivered for treats for you.
Oh, look at you.
And it just arrived, and it was half of the order. So we're going to have to share a little bit. Okay. I put a knife out there.
All right.
We'll make do. But I was thinking of you. I just forgot my treats.
I don't feel like I'm in my 50s, but now I'm like
in your 50s, not just 50.
Yeah, really in my 50s now.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
I'm not as old as you, Sully.
Yeah, true.
It is, really.
Wow.
All right. It's Monday, March. No, it's not. It's Tuesday. And it's Charlie Harger's birthday. I'm Manda Factor. Sully is watching traffic. Producer David Burbank is in the studio, along with our friend Mike Seibert, who is in the studio training.
We have a busy hour ahead. President Trump says the good and productive talks are happening, but Iran says no talks have been held yet. We speak with CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland to talk about the details.
G. Scott's going to stop by. Lawmakers looking to set up more barriers surrounding predictive markets like Kalshi and Polymarket. He has some thoughts on that.
It's 8:11 now. The man arrested last week for causing nearly $250,000 in damage at Seattle's Chihuly Garden and Glass is expected in court this morning. Here's KIRO 7's Dee Dee Sun.
The suspect, who has no prior criminal history, will enter a plea. According to court documents, last week security guards found him smashing sculptures and throwing shards of glass at them. In total, 12 sculptures were damaged, with the estimated cost being more than $200,000.
He faces several felony charges.
Well, the Mariners are putting to bed any potential drama between Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. Raleigh says they talked face-to-face after that infamous interaction at the World Baseball Classic.
It's in the past, and, none of us are carrying this forward, and we're in a good spot.
In a statement, Arozarena says he and Cal are brothers and teammates. Randy made headlines nearly 2 weeks ago when he cursed out Raleigh for not returning a handshake at the WBC. Hopefully they really are friends and brothers and teammates again, because opening day is Thursday.
Cannot wait. At 8:12, let's get a check on the weather. Here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Well, you can count on having some rain at times. It's just going to be wet weather. It'll be breezy at times as well. The rain will taper off to showers this afternoon, so that'll be a lot better. But still, it's very wet out there now. So rain turning to showers. It will be breezy to windy, and temperatures are going to be right there in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, I expect we'll go with just some scattered showers. It's not going to be quite as active, but some isolated thunderstorms still possible. And then I think you're going to go for some drier weather on Thursday, just a few morning showers. And then you're dry for the Mariners, dry again until we hit a few showers on Sunday.
43 in Seattle right now, and the radar indicates it's heavy rain.
Oh, it is dumping.
Just dumping.
Not helping the drive. It's 8:13. Let's get back to Chris Sullivan for an update on traffic.
And the dumping rain is really what's causing about a 3.5-mile backup on westbound 16, getting through Port Orchard and around the corner to Gorst. Visibility, lots of splash, standing water. So just be prepared. You're heading over to the Bremerton area. You're going to see some significant slowing out of Bethel from Sedgwick on up. Also contributing to our drives on this side of the water. Plus, we've had a couple of crashes. For those of you coming down from the north end, we have an hour and a half to an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, 20 to 25 minutes slower than it should be. We do have a crash on southbound I-5 right at the Nile Golf Course, which is the Edmonds exit there. The HOV lane is blocked. You're getting by it okay, but boy, after that, it is not easy getting into downtown. Same with 405. It's bumper to bumper from Linwood, basically all the way down to 520. It eases off as you get down through Kirkland, but still a lot of work to do there. Northbound I-5, not great from the beginnings of Boeing Field all the way into downtown. About an hour and 5-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. 509 northbound also caught up in this. Eastbound across the West Seattle Bridge, we're backed up to the golf course now. Not pretty. Rented to Bellevue, 45 minutes. The Valley Freeway, well over 50. Also looking for a new crash on northbound I-5 just north of 512. Haven't found it yet. The Lake Bridges, though, give yourself about 30 minutes to make it from Bellevue to Seattle. They're both really well backed up today. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It's now 8:15. Thanks for being with us on this Tuesday morning. President Trump has posted to Truth Social that very good and productive talks are happening with Iran. However, Iran has said no talks have been held.
Let's check in with CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. Jeff, I want to tell you what Reuters is reporting. They're saying that the Iranian sources want 4 different things: guarantees against future military action, compensation for wartime losses, formal control of the Strait of Hormuz, and no limitations on their missiles. When you hear that, is that something the United States could agree to?
No, without question. There's no way the United States could agree to that. And furthermore, frankly, a lot of our allies in the region, Saudis, Emiratis, Omanis, et cetera, would not agree to that. Oman has one side of the Strait of Hormuz, so to transfer that sovereignty to Iran would not be appropriate. And clearly in the background, particularly the Saudis and Emiratis, I think are very interested in seeing the Iranian missile program and drone program degraded, even more so since they've been struck, and then have those restrictions carry on. So unlimited ability for Iran to produce missiles would be a non-starter for them as well.
Jeff, Iran is saying one thing and the U.S. is saying another. And in fact, we're getting mixed messages from the administration. Who are we to believe? What is really happening and how do we know?
Well, I think it's a matter of nuance, man, to tell you the truth. And that is, of course, on the one hand, Mr. Trump is saying that, negotiations have begun with very senior people. He has unfortunately has not identified who those senior people are. Oh, by the way, the senior people that now are moving into positions of leadership in Iran are frankly a lot more, in some cases, hardcore than the people they replaced. I mean, we just had the head of the parliament, the speaker, Ghanem Ghalibaf, is really now seems to be the main leader of the in advising the Grand Ayatollah, who we have not seen. And we have a new national security advisor in Iran, replaced a guy named Larijani, who was killed, had been involved in many negotiations with the West. He's a former Iranian Revolutionary Guard general. So the team is much more hardcore on the one hand. On the other hand, I think what's happening is countries in the region, most notably the Turks, the Egyptians, perhaps the Pakistanis, want this to come to a close. So they're acting as intermediaries. So on the one hand, Mr. Trump can say we're negotiating with Iran through those other parties, and Iran is saying we're not negotiating with the United States because there's no direct contact between the U.S. and Iran. It's all through these third parties.
But it also sounds like the Saudis want this war to continue, and there have been reports this morning that Mohammed bin Salman is considering sending Saudi troops to get involved with this conflict. What would happen if that were to take place?
Well, then the war could actually widen, of course, and you would see the Iranians lash back in even a more robust fashion than they have. I mean, they've already fired over 1,000 missiles and drones at the UAE, somewhat less against Saudi Arabia. You could see that particularly intensify. And furthermore, we know that, petro facilities that dot that part of Saudi Arabia and the UAE and the Gulf are very, very vulnerable from the type of attacks, either by drone or by missile, that the Iranians could mount.
Jeff, our reporter Luke Ducey has been talking this morning about the fact troop transport planes have been leaving Joint Base Lewis McChord here in Washington. What does that say to you?
Well, we're expanding the force in the region. Those transport aircraft probably are not carrying troops so much, but they're probably carrying supplies. We know we have at least 2 Marine MUs, Marine Expeditionary Units en route, one from the Pacific, one from California. That'll position about 4,000 to 5,000 Marines right there in the region. This is a force ideally suited to conduct amphibious operations. So if you were going to secure one side of the Straits of Hormuz, the Iranian side of the Straits of Hormuz, they would be a force that would be designed to do that kind of thing, or perhaps capture one or more of the small islands there in the Straits that could facilitate movement of shipping, or perhaps eventually even go after Karg Island, which is this island which is critically important to Iranian oil export. That being said, this is still a relatively small force. A MU probably has about 2,000 Marines, but only about 800 of those are infantry. So it would have additional capabilities if you wanted to do those amphibious operations, but I would stress limited capabilities if you want to get into a longer, more drawn-out ground conflict with the Iranians.
I want to ask you about this weekend. The president basically gave the Iranians 5 days yesterday, so after the close of trading day on Friday. We talked last week about you didn't think there would be boots on the ground last weekend. Are you equally confident that there won't be boots on the ground this weekend, Jeff?
I'm still fairly confident because these 2 MUs, I don't think are going to get fully into position until the latter part of the week, Charlie, number one. Number two is I think the president is playing for time here on this 5-day pause on attacks against our energy facilities. So he may want to run that one out and see what comes of it, as well as these supposed contacts with the Iranians, perhaps looking for some kind of an exit ramp for the United States. But clearly the president is timing his comments about these things while looking at 2 things very closely. One, the price of oil, and can he make a remark that will stabilize the price of oil and at least slow the rise? And number 2, he's looking at the markets to see if he can make remarks and comments before the market opens, like it did on Monday, when he mentioned that he was going to do this pause, which tends to stabilize the markets.
Jim Mattis said yesterday that ending the war now would cede the Strait of Hormuz to the enemy. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, right now there's no doubt about it. They control the Straits of Hormuz, and if you don't end it under these terms, then you have left them in the control of that, and they can squeeze that pressure point pretty much wherever and whenever they want to do. I mean, the challenge is, of course, that as I think Henry Kissinger said, I think great powers, lose by not winning, and small powers win by not losing. So if this conflict ends with them now fully in control of the Straits of Hormuz and having the capacity to threaten it, and the Iranian revolutionary government still in position, then for the Iranians, that's a win.
And why would that be a bad idea for the United States and potentially the world?
Well, it depends on whether or not they're going to be somewhat compliant. That's why these negotiations are important. Can you come to a negotiation? This is sort of the Venezuela option that Mr. Trump likes to talk about. Can we find a group who would be from the old regime but willing to be compliant in terms of restrictions on their missile program, clearly some restrictions on their nuclear program and accountability of active material, and then resuming transit through the Straits of Hormuz? And that's the open question, whether that particular group exists or whether the Iranians think if they continue because of the challenges of the cost of oil, the economic effect globally, et cetera, that they can be successful and still maintain an awful lot of leverage in the aftermath.
Jeff, thanks as always for your time. We appreciate it. CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland.
Let's get a check on traffic now every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
I want to thank my good friend Jay, Jesuit High School class of 88, working his way up I-5 northbound, telling me about this crash that we have right around the 5 curve on northbound 5. The HOV lane is now blocked for this. One of the cars went into the Jersey barrier and is kind of perpendicular to the road. So that's one of the issues that we have there on the board today. It's causing a couple of minutes lost. And then you have Federal Way to Seattle of well over an hour. It's about 45 minutes away from South Center alone. So those last couple of miles are not going to be easy. It's just weather and volume. That's what we have on this Tuesday to greet you. Same with the Valley Freeway. It's about 55 minutes from end to end. The brake lights there are in Auburn and at the north end. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 45 minutes. It is solid up past 44th and then just kind of meandering ugly all the way up into the downtown Bellevue core. We might have a crash right around Northeast 8th now, kind of contributing to things. Across the lake, 520 is backed up from the middle of the lake. I-90 starts seeing the slowing on Mercer Island. You're going to need well over 30 minutes to go from Bellevue to Seattle on either one of the lake bridges. And we haven't even gotten to the big enchilada, which is coming down out of the north end. Hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. An hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. It is not pretty. And we're still working with this crash blocking the HOV lane on southbound 5 right by the Nile Golf Course, the Edmonds exit. Good thing is it's over there on the far left-hand side where there's plenty of shoulder to work with, so it's not as causing as much of a backup as you might expect. And westbound 16 continues to struggle through the rain trying to get around the corner up into Bremerton via Highway 3. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Opening day is Thursday, March 26th. Don't miss out. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Yeah, that rain is quite heavy in spots this morning. It's going to be a very wet day, breezy too and 54, but quickly improving tomorrow. Scattered showers, maybe some sun breaks and 49. And then Thursday, just some light sprinkles in the morning, but for opening day, it's going to be sunny. Mostly sunny for the afternoon, warming up to 53, 57 with some sunshine on Friday. Right now in Seattle, still raining quite heavily. It's 45 degrees. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the settlement between a longtime detective and the Seattle Police Department. Also, Leland Vitter from News Nation on chaos at the airports across the U.S. and the problem with prediction markets. That's coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Now, a word for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. You've saved more than $300,000. Well, that's real money. But here's a question. How far will it actually go in retirement? Because without tax planning, a significant chunk of every withdrawal, your IRA, your 401k, your Social Security goes straight to the IRS. Good tax planning could make your savings go twice as far. Not twice as lucky, twice as far, because you keep more of what you earned. The savings over a lifetime could be 6 figures. Boss Retirement Solutions will show you what's possible with a free retirement tax savings analysis. Call them at 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350. Same savings, maybe twice the distance. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag flag and USA with Donald Trump. Don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
When it comes to financial planning, women often face different realities. For some, years were spent caregiving or raising children. Others were growing careers. Yet so often, investments and tax decisions were set aside or handled by someone else. And statistically, women live longer. Over the next 20 years, trillions will transfer to women only after the loss of a spouse. And suddenly, they're expected to make these complex decisions alone. That's why I created Growing Her Wealth. I'm Danielle Meister, a wealth advisor at Madrona Financial and CPAs. This initiative was built to empower women and integrate investments, tax strategy, and estate planning all under one roof. This is for men as well, husbands and wives, to ensure a coordinated long-term plan. It's about elevating family stewardship. If you or someone you love wants thoughtful guidance in a professional, supportive environment, join me at an upcoming seminar or webinar. Visit growingherwealth.com to reserve your seat today. Growing Her Wealth, financial confidence on your terms.
Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
John Curley here. This baseball season, step up to the plate and get the price of a new heating and cooling system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure. Don't wait. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Aetna has been my lifesaver. Easy to understand, and if not, customer service is always there to help.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We show up for you because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Chihuly Garden and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. A Seattle police detective who accused the Department of Discrimination has reached a settlement for $750,000.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
Yeah, the city of Seattle will now pay Detective Denise Bolden, better known as Detective Cookie, that money after she filed a $10 million lawsuit back in 2023 claiming racial and gender discrimination. She claimed in her lawsuit her supervisors belittled her and questioned her loyalty to the force because of her relationship in the community, in the city's communities of color, specifically Rainier Beach. She also claimed it got so bad at some points that some officers refused to give her backup on the streets on calls. That's scary. In recent years, Detective Cookie made the rounds in national media, you might remember, for her continuing community police work and really trying to get the word out about community policing. Here she was on the Kelly Clarkson Show, for instance, talking about creating a chess club in Rainier Beach.
I got a small grant and was able to get the chess going on. And these are kids who are mostly from the Rainier Beach area of Seattle, which is one of the most diverse communities in the United States.
Yeah, there's now a chess park in Rainier Beach named after her. She said she became inspired to be a police officer after growing up in Chicago. She met one officer there who would buy kids breakfast, lunch, talk with them all the time, get to know them, what's going on with them and their lives and their community. She joined SPD back in 1980, served 40 years on the force. SPD says in response, it is now reviewing internal training and policies.
Luke, thank you for the update. 8:32 now. New video is shedding light on the deadly Rainier Beach double shooting.
Police say it shows a 16-year-old suspect walking through a neighborhood moments after the gunfire. KIRO 7 spoke with a nearby resident where the video was recorded.
Well, my instant reaction was somebody's on the loose in my neighborhood, and you guys better catch them. After that happened, I made a WhatsApp group, like a neighborhood watch group, so we can keep things safe.
That teen is now charged in the deaths of 2 students.
The man arrested last week for causing nearly $250,000 in damage at Seattle's Chihuly Garden and Glass is expected in court this morning. Here's KIRO 7's Dee Sun.
The suspect, who has no prior criminal history, will enter a plea. According to court documents, last week security guards found him smashing sculptures and throwing shards of glass at them. In total, 12 sculptures were damaged, with the estimated cost being more than $200,000.
He now faces several felony charges.
There's a squirrel problem in Browns Point in Pierce County. And by problem, we mean people are being attacked by the little furballs. The News Tribune reports someone posted on Reddit over the weekend saying a squirrel ran up their back onto their head, then latched onto their hand and bit down hard. That person had to kick the squirrel in the face multiple times, but it finally ran away. Turns out they weren't the only victim. The State Department of Fish and Wildlife confirmed it received reports of aggressive squirrels in the area. Friday, officers responded, and there's no delicate way to put this, they lethally removed 5 squirrels. Officials say the animals had become just too used to people, likely because they were feeding them.
Squirrels are fighting back.
I saw the fattest squirrel I've ever seen yesterday. That must be fed very well in my neighborhood.
Well, they took care of him in Pierce County. All right. Browns Point now safe from the squirrels this morning. 8:33 now. We check in with Sully for traffic.
Do you guys know when triple digits are ever good?
Return on investment.
A return on investment. Okay, there we go. That's good. Okay, very good. That's one positive. Triple digits are not good when you're trying to go from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. But we are well into the triple digits in terms of minutes. Hour and 50 from Everett into Seattle, with an hour and a half alone from Linwood. That's about a 35-minute delay over just what we've been getting used to with the lane restrictions. And again, we're still working with a crash right there by the Nile Golf Course at the Edmonds exit on southbound 5. 405, a little better by about 10 minutes, but still hour and 40 overall, and an hour and 20 of that away from Linwood. So coming down from the north end is just, it's diabolical. Looking at westbound across the lake, we inside joke, I hope you get that on the text line, very heavy across the lake. You're going to need 35 minutes to go from Bellevue to Seattle. Valley Freeway up over an hour with 35 minutes from Auburn, and then Renton to Bellevue's at 50. Super slow from I-90 up into downtown Bellevue. I'm looking for a crash around Northeast 8th. Haven't found it yet. Fred, the I-5 corridor really struggling through Fife. We have the HOV lane remain blocked around the corner because of a crash in the HOV lane, and then an hour drive Federal Way to Seattle. Trying to get better on westbound 16. We've kind of cut the backup there in half. This report, and that's getting through Port Orchard. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Steady rain for the day. It's going to be breezy, too. 54 the high. We are talking up to a half inch of rain today. Scattered showers for tomorrow and 49. And then by Thursday, we're going to see sunshine. Mostly sunny by afternoon after the possibility of a few sprinkles in the morning, 53. But a nice afternoon to kick off the baseball season. Friday, partly cloudy and 57. So far, the weekend looks dry. Right now, it is raining and 45 in Seattle.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
8:36 now on this Tuesday morning, and every Tuesday we call up News Nation host Leland Vitter to go over some of the biggest national stories of the day.
This morning we asked Leland to break down the chaos happening at many airports across the country with a shortage of TSA workers and ICE agents helping run airport security.
The issue right now at the airports is there's not enough people who can do the jobs that are needed, right? Which is why there's long lines. So if you could have ICE agents checking IDs rather than TSA agents, so the TSA agents can use the x-ray machines, that'd probably be pretty useful. Is a bunch of ICE agents standing around on their phones, talking to people in lines going to help much? No. And again, this is an optics problem for the administration. It's bewildering why they didn't roll this out to have even 50 ICE agents trained to use the little things that you put your ID into, so you would have that picture of the ICE agents needed to help the TSA. It would have been great for the administration, but they seem not to have thought that far ahead.
There's a group of Republican senators, John Kennedy of Louisiana among them, out with a bipartisan solution that sounds like the Democrats would be on board with. But it's really a wild card whether the president will be on board with it. What do you make of that if the Congress can come up with a solution, but the president still says no way?
Well, the president has often shown himself to be very malleable in these situations. He makes typically extremist demands, right? There's going to be no solution unless it includes the Save America Act, which is the voter ID bill, and then all of a sudden retreats far from that. And he's been shown to do that in the past. The question is Congress want to leave Washington for their 2-week vacation with this still a problem? And that's going to be a real issue for this administration.
Talking with Leland Vitter, host of On Balance on News Nation. I want to switch gears once again and talk about what you write about on your blog, War Notes, the real March Madness. We've been talking about this new bipartisan bill introduced to the Senate that could ban all prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket from offering bets on sports and casino-style games. You say these apps are bad for the country. Why?
Well, this is the question, which is what is it doing to America's youth, particularly young men? And it is terrible. It is objectively awful. The only thing DraftKings is king of is their own bottom line, which keeps increasing at the expense of young men who are sitting there betting on all sorts of stuff. I think the bipartisan bill to ban, this very narrow part of this very narrow market is a little bit like putting a Band-Aid on a femoral artery wound. And that's what really is happening in America right now to young men who are being, taken advantage of by this extraordinarily addictive opportunity that they have. It's one of the very few places that government can actually be useful.
Don't you feel like you're taking crazy pills when you're told Kalshi, Polymarket aren't gambling? I feel like I am just being gaslit when they try to tell me this isn't gambling.
Well, right. And the idea that you're talking about, you can bet on what the temperature in Washington, D.C. is going to be tomorrow. This is the definition of gambling. Now, they argue, well, no, it's prediction markets because people have, their own information and their own analysis to decide what the chance of different things are happening. Then you have the insider trading issue. The larger sense, I think, is what it does to society. The federal government is not good at many things. But there are things that we've decided as a society that it's good at doing, namely protecting us in some ways from ourselves. Seatbelt laws are a great example. Airbags in cars are a great example. Providing for the national defense. We've long held for hundreds of years that pervasive access to gambling is not good for a society. I'm not sure why that changed with the advent of the mobile phone.
That's News Nation's Leland Vitter, host of On Balance, weeknights at 6 p.m.
And now for something completely different. A pop star ready to return to the stage.
Montreal's La Presse reports Celine Dion will perform a series of concerts in Paris this fall, where posters have been popping up referencing her songs like Power of Love. The paper says she'll likely perform twice a week through September and October at the Paris La Défense Arena. The 57-year-old hasn't headlined her own show since her world tour in 2020, which was eventually canceled after she was diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, an autoimmune neurological disorder. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You may remember Celine sang at the closing ceremony of the 2024 Olympics in Paris. It was a really emotional performance. She also sang last November at a fashion show in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, Sully, I know you celebrate the work of Celine Dion, but we need you to focus on traffic. What's coming up in that?
Well, we're looking at 20 to 30-minute delays now across the board, so we'll run it all down next.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Now through March 31st, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is paying your sales tax, plus offering easy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
It's 8:43, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads for us.
It is just it's ugly. We haven't seen one of these days in a while where we have a ton of rain. I mean, a ton. And we have a typical heavy volume day like a Tuesday. I mean, we're running an hour and 40 from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. That is a 30-minute delay. Positive news is we have cleared the crash on southbound I-5 right at the Edmonds exit, but the damage is kind of done. It's going to take us a while to get through this. So big-time delays there. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, running about 25 minutes behind schedule at over an hour, with 40 plus of that away from the South Center area. Those last couple of miles are going to be very tough. And now we're up to an hour from Renton into Bellevue. It is an 11-mile bumper-to-bumper slog from 167 all the way up to Northeast 8th today. So no love there. And the Valley Freeway still struggling. Well over an hour with 40 of those minutes from the Auburn area, so that's not good either. That's plus 20. Still working with this crash on northbound I-5 right at the Fife curve, kind of just around the corner there. It's in the HOV lane, and we're backed up towards the Puyallup River Bridge. Give yourself an extra 10 minutes there. Lake Bridges running about a half an hour. 520 is bumper to bumper basically from Medina all the way over to I-5. So this is one of those days that you want to try to forget, but you're struggling. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial. 97.3 HD2.
Well, the rain has really made a mess of things, and we're going to get up to a ½ inch of rain today, so it's not going away soon. 54 our high for today. A little bit breezy, too. Tomorrow, just scattered showers and 49, and then opening day for the Mariners at T-Mobile on Thursday. Just a few sprinkles in the morning, but we'll see mostly sunny skies by afternoon, and a high of 53. Friday looks nice, too. Right now in Seattle, it's raining heavily and 45 degrees.
Coming up, don't call them gambling apps. Well, maybe I will. You can't tell me what to do. G. Scott talks to us about predictive markets on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
High five. Up top. Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on MyNorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula show, 9 to noon here on KIRO Newsradio Plus, the host of the Reset podcast. We're joined by G. Scott. G, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good
How y'all
morning.
doing? Yeah. Amanda, you didn't?
I was actually going to say nice jacket, but I didn't want to veer too far off course. That's very vintage and cool.
Yeah, I thought about you a little bit.
All right, G, we've been talking this morning about the Kalshi and Poly market apps, and I'm like, okay, this is gambling. But some people say it's not. What are your takes on it?
I was in my barber chair on Saturday morning, and I was ear hustling with the barber next to us, and he was...
I'm sorry, ear hustling? I love that. I've never heard that.
Oh, I was listening to the conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was, so...
Duh.
So your dog was ear hustling, right? And so I was listening, and the barber was telling his client, he was like, oh, man, I've been killing it on this Kalshi, man. I'm killing it. You know, it's just like, it's so easy. I just keep the money in there. He says, man, it's just no-brainer conversation. So let me just tell you guys what's going on right now. Kalshi and platforms like Polymarket right now are trying to ban insider trading right now. And that's because people right now are making money off of information that the public doesn't have. You know, and if you're thinking like, well, wait a minute, doesn't Congress do this stuff all the time?
Yep.
Yes, Jane, they do. So we're talking about this case. This is betting on wars. This is betting on elections, global events, what's happening with Iran. And somehow a lot of folks seem to, know about these things before they happen. And some people are making money. So now senators are stepping in and they're like, hold on. This isn't investing. This is basically, gambling kind of dressed up a little bit. So it's almost like if this continues, which I hope it does, because I agree, they do need to stop this. Matter of fact, I just think this Kalshi stuff, I think this is outrageous. I don't like any of it. Any of it. There's no way in the world you want people just coming out here. You're betting on current events.
What about sports? Because that happens all the time in Kalshi. You're betting on sports, even though that's illegal.
I'm fine with betting on, I'm not fine with betting on sports, but this has been going on for so long. That's fine. This is different, man. And I think in this Kalshi stuff, you got a lot of people that are able to do this from their cell phones. I think that's dangerous. There used to be a time that if you were a gambler, you had to go to Las Vegas, or you had to go to Atlantic City. Maybe you stayed at Trump Towers before they were bankrupt. But the most important thing is when you're in Vegas, you had to go to these places to gamble. Or if you wanted to gamble that bad and you didn't feel like going to Vegas, you got your bookie. But if you had a bookie, you got a serious gambling problem. Let me stop right there. Have you ever had a bookie?
No.
Neither have I. You know what I mean? but here we are today. So you have rules right now in Washington State. If you want to sports gamble, you got to go to the casino.
Yes.
But you want to do this stuff on Kalshi and these current events, you just pick up your cell phone and just do it. That's a slippery slope, man. And, sometimes you got to protect us from ourselves. I don't know if you have things like, for example, I'll talk about my diet. There's certain things I got to protect myself from. Like I can't have cookies in the house. I can't have brownies and cakes and ho-hos and Twinkies in the house. Because if I do, I'm going to eat it. Well, this stuff right here. So they want to ban the insider trading.
What's your biggest problem with a cookie? Is it an oatmeal raisin? Is it a chocolate chip? Where do you fall into real trouble if it's sitting on the counter?
I think the biggest thing would probably just be a good old-fashioned chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
chewy, just crunchy, crispy. What do you like in a chocolate chip?
Your dog don't discriminate. You feel me?
Okay, no, I feel you.
I like it all kinds of ways when it comes to the chocolate chip.
I'm ear hustling what you're saying.
Yeah, with the chocolate chip cookie. Now, and you know what? Since we're on that, I think today's desserts, I think everybody's getting way too fancy with it. This is why all the voodoo donuts, and I'm going to get this donut with Oreos on top and a Bloody Mary on top of it. Just give me a plain Jane, right? Just give me a regular donut.
You just want some sugar, you want some fat, you want some flour.
That's it.
Mix it all together, put it in your mouth, right?
You're sounding kind of old and cranky.
Is Maple Bar not the best donut ever created? Yes or no?
No, old-fashioned
No,
donut.
I'm old-fashioned camp, totally.
Definitely.
Crunchy on the outside.
Gee, I do have a question. So you mentioned cookies.
By the way,
this
I like
is
that
now
house
this is my whole my lane. Are you with a flaky sea salt on the chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah.
Just making sure because that's
new. That's new.
Big one for me.
Look here, I got to give that to y'all's generation. Y'all came with the salty sweet type combination type.
My
deal.
wife a few years ago she's been making cookies for years. She started putting it on there and I was like, whoa,
so good.
That's a big deal.
The first time I got introduced to the salty sweet that I didn't really recognize was the first time I had a homeboy tell me to put peanut butter on my burger.
Oh.
And
That's
if you've never done peanut butter on your burger, that's
on the menu at a restaurant. I can't remember which one.
up north here. Yeah. I've had it there. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody's got to text in and tell you the name. But
okay, let's have some sort of cookie contest, and then we can bet on it.
Oh, yeah, no, we can bet whether G will eat one. We'll put him right by his desk.
Oh.
Okay, you may be excused.
Hey, I'm getting kicked out.
Nick's playing your music, not your music, Sully's music. G and Ursula coming up 9 o'clock.
All right, Sully, what's going on in traffic?
I don't know. I just lost everything when you said ho-hos. It takes me back. I could probably eat like 50 of those things.
They're tiny.
So good. I know. Yeah, not that tiny. Boy, when you look up struggle, you're looking at today's commute. It is not pretty. Or as Steph would say, it's savage out there. We've got an hour and 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And I mean, it's bumper to bumper from Linwood all the way down. The west, getting across the lake, it's about 35 minutes on 520. It is bumper to bumper from Medina all the way over. I-90 is actually better, and you don't have to pay a toll. Looking at northbound I-5, still struggling from the middle of Boeing Field on up, well over an hour from Federal Way. And we're definitely looking at least a 15-minute delay getting through Fife because of a crash that's been blocking the HOV lane. Left Valley Freeway's back under an hour, which is great, but we're still rolling at about an hour from Renton to Bellevue. Bumper to bumper, off and on, all the way. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Heavy rain at times for today and a little bit windy, too. We're headed for a high of 54. It's 45 and still raining in Seattle.
King County Councilmember Reagan Dunn is the guest on the G and Ursula Show. That's coming up next on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals.
Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Have you thought about how your finances should change in 2026? Well, my friends at WaFd Bank can help. Right, Brad?
Right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. You also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me about this voice-activated banking I've been hearing about.
You can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full, which, let's face it, is probably most of the time. You'll also have access to free tools like person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, intuitive new debit card management tools to turn your card on and off, set spending notifications, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And you can choose from those great-looking Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves debit cards. So visit WaFdBank.com to open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
your new home is ready now. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new construction communities across Puget Sound and Central